Welcome to Plat Chat Overwatch, episode 264. We're back with another mega roundtable episode to talk about everything about the game. Season 16, it's a big season on our hands. We got lots to talk about. We got Stadium, we got hero bands. We have an amazing guest list joining us here today. And I'm just letting you all know now, today's episode is dinner themed, and I have more to say about that later. It's gonna be a blast. So I hope you're hungry for some great conversation because it's gonna be.
He's dad posting again. He's grilling. He's dad posting.
Let me cook. No pun intended. I'm cooking up a nice little dinner episode here. It's gonna be great. We'll get into it. Now, the last time we did a roundtable episode here on Plat Chat, the people listening on podcasts on the audio front, they were really upset with me. They were really angry with me because I didn't introduce who was on the episode. And so they were like, there's all these voices on the podcast, and I have no idea who's talking. So like, Johnny, why don't you introduce them? And so...
Before you do though, make them guess, which every person should speak one time. Say
Type
your favorite
right
catchphrase, and then everyone in the comments like, oh, but who is that based on voice alone?
Trivia.
And then introduce
Coming
them
to Plat Chat
afterwards,
Overwatch. Trivia. Yeah. All right. So if you don't know who that was in your ears right then, that was the man of some people.
Jaws.
That was Jaws.
That was me.
That was Joss. The man of some people, AVRL, who got this title after the 6v6 conversation. The man of some people. We got the Aquaman of Overwatch. It's Jaws, of course.
I mean,
I'm sticking with that. You got the
looking
aquarium. You like sharks. The Jaws nickname. It's great.
Oh.
Joining us for the first time. Sorry, Ocie. We'll get to you later. Joining us for the first time on the episode. It's the king of angles, Spilo. Welcome to Plat Chat.
Thank you for having me.
This guy hates glass. For the
Hates
people that
glass,
don't
apparently.
realize yet.
heard that.
The number one glass hater. Yeah.
He doesn't have a window in his house at all. 0 windows. Doesn't like glass.
No, nothing. No daylight at all.
You got a lot of like air, flowing through the house. It's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
yeah.
No glass needed. Now, Ocie, the queen of analysis, of course. I saw you were reviewing the OTPs finals, did you, before the episode?
Yeah, Nightmare versus CR.
Oh, Nightmare versus CR.
Crazy Raccoon were sorry, but Lip on King. Shoe through King's Row, Lip through New Queen Street, basically.
All right. Don't let the North American fanboys know that. Let them keep their Nightmare win to themselves. And finally,
kept like doming Heesung though. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Finally, our very own Glorp correspondent. It's Apply. How you doing?
I'm doing good. This is like my 4th or 5th episode now. Someone in my chat said that I need a Plat Chat like office in the headquarters.
True. We'll get it built.
I'll move in.
We'll get it custom built, bro.
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
No, we're a remote kind of environment here. We don't have any office, but if we do get corporate offices right now, very cheap. No one wants to be in corporate environments anymore. So maybe we'll fly people out to California, get a Plat Chat office in downtown. I don't know. Like we can get that rolling. Jaws,
Let's rent the WeWork space. Let's do the WeWork space. Yeah,
Plat Chat WeWork.
$20,000 a month for 3 rooms.
There you go. All right, before we get into today's episode, Avril's trying to talk, I think, but he's muted. It might be some stream.
It's fine. I was about to make a Valiant joke, but it's fine. I was going to say, every time Scott left, we have a free Valiant position available. So,
It probably pays more than the Valiant ever did as well. So.
Oh, God. Oh, boy. All right. Before we get into today's episode and talking about all the good things, we have this reoccurring segment every week where we thank the members who support the Plat Chat episode, of course, on our YouTube. And they provide a question that we can all answer together. So this week's members' question comes from Fisselstein, and there's a lot of text on your screen, but don't worry, I'll boil it down. It's essentially, we got a lot of great collaborations in Overwatch so far. Of course, today we have like the Japanese robot thing, whatever that's. Gundam. Yeah, that's
Gundam.
See? It's a lot of fun. So Fisselstein essentially asks, what collaboration would you like to see in Overwatch? So, I'll just open the floor. What collaborations do we want to see for Overwatch?
Marvel Rivals, obviously, guys.
I swear to God,
that would be
you
big.
had to bring it there.
I need Bionicle fans.
Oh, Bionicle.
There's no, it'll never happen. But
wait a second, dude. Cyberpunk 2077, dude. Imagine this.
That would be crazy.
A Cyberpunk 2077 or Balatro, where Soldier is just a playing card, bro, and he's running around like a giant. Or Ryan, his shield is just like Ace of Clubs or something, or like.
I like that.
I don't want our game to be R18, Jaws. Screw you for suggesting that. It's kind of crazy.
So true.
You encourage gambling? Come on, man. What are you on about?
Hey,
All right.
come on.
Hopefully that satisfies Phil's science question. There you go. That's just some. Just some.
Just
we
rambling.
threw out some out there, right there. There's just a table. It's just a table. I don't know why I'm thinking about tables and dinners right now.
How about like
we'll
a
get into it.
fast
Called
food
Roundtable.
collaboration, like a fat, just like
Ooh,
McDonald's,
McDonald's.
right?
What's that,
Just like
McDonald's?
full on corporate like slime. You know what I'm saying? Like the most like McDonald's, Burger King. You know what I'm saying? Like goes to the highest bidder. You get what I'm saying?
Spilo.
And they have like they
Yeah,
come
like
with
that.
custom voice lines. It's like, hey kids, make sure to ask your parents for fast food every single day. Remember, it's all part of a healthy and nutritious breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You get what
That
I'm
is
saying?
the
Like,
longest voice
there's-
line of history.
Yeah, but,
Whose
but
voice
like,
line
think
is
about
that?
it. Think about it. And the best part about
Dude,
this
soldiers,
collab is
bro.
it would just be totally free. Like they give away the skins for free because it's impressionable young minds. And so I think
Twitch
I think
drops.
it's yeah, exactly. Twitch drops. There's a missed opportunity here.
This guy's cooking.
Do I have a story for you, Spilo? It'll be a quick one. So some of you may know we used to have a McDonald's sponsorship in Contenders Australia for 6 years, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, I
Just
remember
no,
Macca's. Yeah.
no
Yeah.
flex there. Just 6 years worth of McDonald's
He had
sponsorship.
the
But
label
what
on
you
the
didn't know,
logo on the bag.
what you didn't know is,
Yeah.
yeah, we did have a logo on the bag for
I
one
remember that.
Contenders finals. They actually printed a Contenders logo on the McDonald's takeaway bag. But better than that, on one season, they integrated a Overwatch reward in the McDonald's app itself, where you could get a
No
tracer
way.
skin. No, I'm serious. I'm fully serious. You could get a tracer skin in the McDonald's app. It wasn't a very good one. It was like some epic skin. I'm not a legendary, obviously. But the fact that they
Interesting.
put that in the McDonald's app was crazy to me.
That is pretty
That's
awesome.
wild. That's
In
wild.
Australia, of course, only.
Bring it
You
back.
could press
for you
all sorts of
Americans.
like fast food propaganda as well. Like I just imagine, remember kids, colon cancer is largely a myth, and like it's probably
my
fine. Cholesterol is not that bad. It's the best new Genji
Yeah.
voice line.
So we've had our McDonald's collaboration.
Yeah.
Actually, you
Only
weren't
on the
wrong. We actually
Market
had it.
app.
Let's lean
Dude,
into it.
that's good. We should bring that back.
That wasn't the skin. No, wait, that was the skin.
That's
Was
the
it?
You
skin.
can get that skin for
They
free
chose
now.
the worst skin possible.
It's not.
I can't
the
stand that
best.
skin. Her hair looks like
Now-
it looks
now
it looks
see-
like an ice cream cone.
See what they should have
Perfect for
done.
McDonald's ice cream machine never
What they
worked.
should have done
Replacement.
is they had like 30 plus Florida Mayhem season 1 skins they could have used, huh? Guys, thoughts?
Bro.
Why didn't they just do that?
Replace the logo on his
Well,
shoulder.
it's got
or
the M
something.
on it and everything. Come on,
Yeah.
perfect.
We're cooking with that one. We're cooking with that one. Also, don't forget Dallas Fuel, Jack in the Box.
Oh,
They had a
yeah,
sponsorship
that's
for a while.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
True.
That's right.
the
Tasmo,
play-
the general
I just
manager,
missed that
had a
one.
card, so he could just swipe the card.
No,
and
a
just get
lot of the
free Jack in
players
Box
did.
with it.
Some of the players did. I remember Paintbrush saying that they had a card too, but it had like
That's
a limit on it.
crazy. You
Maybe
only know
that
about Jack in the
explains
Box?
their,
Yeah.
Maybe that explains season 1 and season 2 performances. I just say.
The only thing I know about
Only
Jack in the
Jack in the
Box.
Box.
Do you guys remember the Eat This Not That books that were like really popular in like the late 2000s? You guys, am I the only one that remembers those like
Eat
little
This, Not
booklets?
That?
You guys ever heard of that? Eat This Not That? You guys are too.
No.
You guys are too young. All right. All I
Too
know about
young.
Jack in the Box is that those freaking books, Jack in the Box had like the worst grade because there's like legitimately like buckets of trans fats and like literally every single thing on that menu. Like literally everything. Like it was just trans fat city. They did not care. Taste at the expense of all else. So whenever I think of Jack in the Box, I'm just like, I just see a giant coffin.
Oh
Yeah,
my
see?
god.
I have
What
never
is
seen
this?
this before.
Yeah. There's like a freaking
Restaurant
Jack in the Box thing.
survival
They were
guide.
like, Jack in the Box is the absolute worst. I look Dallas Fuel, Jack in the Box. I'm like, naturally. Of course, it probably tastes amazing. So who cares?
Restaurant
100%.
survival guide. Amazing. This is
that's
phenomenal. Yeah, I love it.
Dude, just
Yeah.
like
Alright.
Taco Bell, bro.
Well, all the Jack in the Box fans have now tuned out of the podcast. So, what a shame. What a big shame. Lost some viewers there, right there. All right. Today's episode, it's dinner themed apparently. Does it have anything to do with food? No, not really. But it's just a way of like portion out these topics. We get a nice little appetizer before we get into the big main courses, stadium, hero bands, and then we can end it with a little dessert there. So it's going to be an amazing episode. We got lots of great topics to talk about. Now, naturally, at dinner parties, of course, there's the adults table, which I will treat us all as adults at this moment in time. Some people might disagree, but we'll be talking about the big old topics. But as typical, there's a big adult dinner room table as well. There's also a kids table. So Solomon, can we check in on the kids table? How are they doing?
Has Overwatch come 2K in 2025? Ooh.
I don't know. I don't know what they're yapping about over there. We need to be. We need
Is this a
to
Reddit-
like.
Is this a Reddit or Blizzard forum like post? Like,
What
This
is
is
the
sort of
original
like Blizzard
context of
forum
this
coded.
image? I forget where this came from.
It was
was some
Fortnite.
YouTube
Is
video,
Fortnite
right?
overrated?
Is Fortnite?
It's Fortnite, yeah.
Fortnite overrated, yeah.
All
That's
right. I
great.
wonder what conclusion they came to. Because arguably
like,
it was.
it's pretty
Because
good.
now it's not as popular anymore. So maybe it was overrated. Maybe they
That's
were right.
pretty popular still.
It's still
Yeah.
like one of the most popular games on the planet, I think.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, maybe we the adults in the room, we should be better about teaching these kids what to talk about and what topics are actually relevant to the scene in general. But besides that, we can leave them by themselves. We can move on to the actual topics at hand that we really do want to discuss here. So, first up, we got a bit of an amuse-bouche. Now, if you're an Overwatch player and you have no freaking idea what an amuse-bouche is, it's usually like the chef just brings out like a little treat before the appetizer even gets there. It's like the smallest, tiniest little dish possible, something they're really enthused about. You can think about it. If you're really Overwatch-pilled, it's kind of like getting a Widowmaker pick right as the spawn doors open before the game has even started. So that's like a little amuse-bouche. It's a little pick. You love it. It's beautiful. It's a little treat. It makes you happy. Jaws, what are you laughing at?
He's like, he was dad posting with the like, oh yeah, we're gonna do food, barbecue, yeah, we're gonna grill some fucking meats. And then he's
It's
like, rich
great.
guy posting, he's like, yeah, you're familiar with the moose fucking bushes.
Okay, they don't have it at McDonald's, Jaws, but you know,
Yeah.
typically there is to be found at
Might have
places.
it at Jack in the Box.
Yeah, maybe they have it there. I don't know. I've never been to Jack in the Box. Maybe they have a moose bouche there anyway. But our little moose bouche for this episode anyway is the fact that Overwatch 3 was apparently hinted at by some Korean website, which I have no idea if it's legit by any kind. I have no idea what their source is. It's exclusive, apparently. So in this little piece right here, they're talking about how some companies, I guess they've been in touch with Blizzard about potentially getting the rights to distribute Overwatch 3, which is a mobile MOBA in Korea, Japan. Don't know if there's any kind of like validity to this whatsoever, but AVRL, you kind of like very much have the finger on the pulse for the general gaming space and what they think about Overwatch. So I'm going to you, AVRL, here. How are people viewing this Overwatch 3 moment in time in the gaming space?
So you were about to ask me, I had the pulse on whether this was real or not, and I'd be like, of course I do. And my answer to that is yes, because we already know that Walter Kong has been working on Overwatch Mobile behind the scenes for quite a while. Walter Kong is... What's
General
his
manager,
title
I think?
again? Something like that.
think
He was
Aaron
pretty high up in
Keller's-
Blizzard.
He's Aaron Keller's boss, is all I know.
Is he?
That's the way. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, he's general manager Overwatch. Is he actually Aaron Keller's boss? I thought
Yeah,
Aaron Keller
he's the
was the
big
boss.
dog.
that's the way it's
Aaron
framed.
Keller's not
yeah.
the boss. Wait, I'm learning today Aaron Keller's not the boss? What?
Oh, he's like,
He's like, I would say
boss.
like the creative vision
Like the
boss, but
team.
you know, Big Daddy kind of the thing. You get what I'm
Anyway,
saying?
so Aaron Keller's boss has been working on Overwatch Mobile behind the scenes for a while now. I think that's been confirmed behind the scenes somewhere. So it's not a leak from me. I heard that, like, I've seen that somewhere. So anyway, that's been on, I'm sure Dick Serta or
I've
something.
seen it.
I'm sure,
I've
seen
I'm
it.
sure
It's
Dick
too
Serta
late
or
now.
somebody
No,
posted
too
it
late now.
somewhere. Well, anyway, Overwatch, so it's not Overwatch 3. It's not Overwatch 3. Overwatch Mobile is not Overwatch 3, guys. They've been working on mobile for a while. I'm pretty sure back in Codex Day when he was still in Activision Blizzard, he ordered an Overwatch Mobile like ages ago. He wanted that shit a long time ago because he loves mobile. So that's been in the works for a while. I don't think it'll be, I obviously know nothing about it except for that's Overwatch on mobile. The joke is like, oh yeah, well it's already been on mobile. It's been on Switch for like years, right? But I'm pretty sure this game won't be like a, I'm speculating, I don't know this. I'm speculating that the game won't be like a one-to-one Overwatch game. It'll be like a very adapted mobile game.
Well, the
in terms
rumor
of like
is gotta
how
be
people
Stadia.
feel about it, I have no idea how people feel about it. That it's going to be
Yeah.
actual MOBA. You mean like 3-lane
Well,
tower,
the thing
towers
is,
and creeps or what?
When I saw it say like, oh, you know, it's a Overwatch 3, which is definitely obviously a placeholder name because they can't use Overwatch 2 or Overwatch 1 or whatever. The title I saw with that was like, oh, it's a MOBA, and I was like, I guarantee you that's just probably Stadium because Stadium has aspects of a MOBA like item shop and shit like that, and like buying, selling, earning money and shit. So that's what I assumed when I saw the title MOBA because I'm thinking like, how the fuck could you make Overwatch a MOBA, bro? Like
Yeah.
like Wild
Is it
Rift.
really going to be MOBA?
No, that's
Heroes
what
of
I'm
the
saying.
Storm.
It's probably more like Stadium in a handheld form, I would imagine. It would also
Agreed.
be like a third person would make a lot more sense on mobile as well. So it's probably has like MOBA elements and like that will translate from like Wild Rift and stuff. But
I wouldn't be
It's probably
surprised
more
if-
closer to Stadium.
If it played completely different Overwatch, but it was just like an Overwatch spin-off game, but on mobile, is actually what I think it could be. Because
Maybe.
can you imagine if they tried to do like actual real Overwatch gameplay on mobile? Like how difficult that would be to pull off?
Well, there was that
even
Chinese
possible?
mobile clone like a few years ago that like ripped off all the assets and then just copy pasted it over some other like mobile game. But
Have any of you
We
guys
don't know how
played
that played
COD
though,
on
right?
phone? I've never played it before. How does that?
I've, like,
function?
played
on
on
mobile.
yeah,
Does it
it's-
have like how ability like focused is it compared to like?
Well, COD is just.
I think
like,
you just
shooting
shoot.
grenades
It's
and
not.
stuff.
I think you just
yeah,
shoot. So you
yeah,
don't-
but there's literally no abilities at all.
Yeah.
Well, apart from like
Sure.
nades and
Yeah.
shit. But
So then
yeah.
it has to be like more MOBA-esque or something, no? Because like I can't imagine having a running in gun, either that or like a completely different game, which seems really unlikely. Like, why not just use the assets that you
Is
already
no one here
have,
Riot
like the
Games
builds?
builds? Don't they have that?
Yeah, they have like a mobile League of Legends, right?
Wild
Wild
Rift,
Rift
yeah.
or something. Yeah.
It's games are super quick. Yeah, the game it's not actually that bad. Like Wild Rift's pretty decent. And when you make Wild Rift, you need to make the games like super short. And that's why I was like, oh, Stadium kind of like lines up with that because the games do happen relatively quickly over the course of 7 rounds. And like it's a full like experience with like buying and selling items and stuff. And if it is going to be a MOBA like Wild Rift, I was like, it could just be like Vainglory for anybody that knows what that is. I used to cast that like a long time ago. And it was a 1 lane 3v3 with a jungle. And it was, yeah, that was like probably one of the better MOBA games on mobile, but I would imagine it, like I said, it's probably more just permanent third person Stadium kind of vibes.
You know, Stadium is like, it takes longer than like a normal Overwatch game, right? Stadium is like the longest thing in Overwatch right now. That
I
wouldn't
guess,
make
yeah,
sense.
if it goes like super far into like round 7, yeah.
Well, we'll only do best of 7 on the phone.
Yeah,
you
you
can
do
do best
like
of 3 or
BO5.
best of 1
Yeah.
even. Like, I don't know. Can't wait for
seems to
people on
fit
mobile
more.
to complain about counterpicking, but you know, well, maybe they'll figure that out. Ocie, are you a believer at all? Do you believe in Overwatch on mobile?
No. Honestly, I think it might just be a PR disaster. Just the fact that they're making it in the first place. It doesn't matter. Like, no matter what, it's just gonna be. Honestly, it's gonna be bad probably. Unless they make it its own thing entirely. If they try to put a shooter on mobile, it's just never gonna be very good. I don't know. I don't really have any opinion on it. I don't think it's gonna make a big difference on like the actual like main game or anything like that. And my thought is really just that I'm actually a little worried that just the PR from like Overwatch releasing a mobile game will just kind of maybe cause people to drift away from Overwatch or maybe not want to try it out just because they see that bad PR and then they're like, I don't want anything to do with Overwatch, you know? If it already wasn't bad enough.
Yeah,
So two things there.
It can be tough. Yeah, go on.
One,
Albert.
if it sucks, blame Scott. We've established that.
Yeah.
2,
Facts.
All Custom's
Oh
fault,
my
no matter
God.
what
Who
Custom's
happens.
fault.
He's
I
like on
heard-
campus
I
right
heard
now,
Custom.
listening to
I
this.
heard-
Like, shut up.
I heard Custer was the game director on Overwatch Mobile. Thoughts?
Yeah.
I did too. I did too.
It was his
I can
idea,
confirm
too.
that.
Number
Yeah,
2,
his idea.
yeah,
He
back in the
pitched it,
valley, he
yeah.
was like, he was telling Applies like, dude, we need to get this Overwatch Mobile shit going on. You know, like, this is the future. Number 2, I actually think mobile shooters are pretty popular. Like PUBG Mobile
Yeah, it's
is
huge.
probably more popular than the actual PUBG game.
It's one of
Um,
the most popular games in the world.
Yeah, the
Southeast
esports
Asia,
crazy for it too.
And you
it
can
is
you can
ridiculous. Like
you can
when I
definitely-
was casting Vainglory, we did our world finals was in Singapore. So we go to Singapore and like the mobile market out there in Southeast Asia is just fucking huge. But everywhere you go, this is when PUBG Mobile first came out as well. People were playing PUBG Mobile, like everywhere, bars, cafes, like it doesn't matter where
Yeah.
it is. Like the population of players on mobile vastly outnumbers PC players in
So-
any region. It's insane.
FPS on mobile can work. Like COD Mobile works. I don't know if it would be good. I don't know if they could port over Overwatch properly in like the actual Overwatch game onto mobile. I don't know how that would feel. Maybe they could. Maybe Blizzard is super talented. And you can just press all the buttons on the screen like you do in Wild Rift, and you can use all your abilities. Maybe it has to be dumbed down a little bit. It's not going to feel as good as like playing actual Overwatch because, you know, if you guys haven't played any FPS games on mobile, the game automatically shoots for you. So as soon as you like mouse over an enemy, it just shoots for you. Stuff like that. So yeah, in terms of PR as well, I think anyone that already like has a dislike for Overwatch in terms from the PR side, if Overwatch Mobile is what turns them off, I don't know if they were gonna like Overwatch in the first place. But you're probably right on that. I don't know. People are probably going to be like, I know how consumers act. They're going to say, if Overwatch Mobile comes out, it's like, oh, so this is what they're doing instead of working on the game.
Yeah.
Right? They'll say some dumb shit like that, pretending
But
like
same with Stadium.
these
You said
aren't, like,
Stadium is
different-
a committed team, right? Like it's
Yeah.
separate, but people
They'll-
don't quite understand that.
anything that happens in the game, people will pretend it's a giant monolith where like 2 people work on the whole game, and therefore anything that comes out, like, oh, that means the entire
they
team
do,
must
bro.
work
It's
on this.
Scott and Aaron Keller. It's only them two. They do the whole game.
The 2 devs.
The 2 devs.
To kind of wrap this up, Spilo, I saw that Flats had an interview with Aaron Keller about Stadium, and I didn't watch the entire interview, but there was a clip there where Aaron did talk about how Walter encouraged Aaron and the team to like take big swings with Overwatch and like take big swings and try like big things to like really shake up Overwatch as a franchise. I guess my question for you, Spilo, is: do you think this would be a legitimate like big swing? Do you think this is like in the right direction? Like, yeah, Overwatch on mobile. It's a big swing. Let's try it out. What would this look like? Do you think it's like a reasonable direction?
I don't give a frick, man. It's not my game, so I don't care. I mean, it might as well. They might as well call it Activision Blizzard's experimenting with Webkin's first-person shooter. Like, I could not possibly care less. Like, as long as it's not diverting resources away from Overwatch, which I highly doubt that it is, because it's the cash cow. Like, let's be honest, Stadium's like a mini version of that. People come into my like chat, and I love Stadium. I think it's a lot of fun. But people are like, "Oh, what do you think about Stadium and competitive integrity?" I'm like, bro, it's freaking Stadium. Have fun. Like, that's it. Like, I don't care what they do with Stadium. Like they can make Reinhardt spontaneously combust, like have him drop a nuclear bomb. I don't care. It's not
They already
Overwatch.
can with fire strikes.
Like, the only thing that's relevant to me is 5v5 and maybe 6v6. I don't care what they do with the rest of the game. If they're going to vote resources into like cash cowing another mobile game and just making millions of dollars, I don't care. Not my business.
Well,
it is.
Yeah, not concerned.
It is going to be like a Diablo Immortal type thing, where it's like it's not aimed, I would imagine, at the Western audience.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
not.
aimed at a mobile market that exists in Southeast Asia, like I said, Singapore, Thailand, like where mobile gaming is really popular. You will definitely see it in the West. Like, people will play it. Like, I'm sure if it comes out, we'll probably play it, a little bit just to see what's up. But like, the reality is, it's really just not gonna affect the Western audience at all. And it like Spilo said, it's going to be a completely different dead team. So it just doesn't matter.
I hope they don't go in that full Diablo Immortal direction though and target big whales like Apply just to get their money.
Yeah, I mean,
because
that's yet to be seen. But
yeah, that's
Plat can't even afford a noise canceller in his microphone. So what makes you think he could spend anything?
You
in
can't
a mobile
afford a
game?
haircut.
tech, bro.
Shut the frick up, buddy.
Oh boy. Okay, let's
Spilo
calm
here
it
is the
down.
best part of his videos. It's like you open up a video, it's like, I wonder what his hair's going to look like in this one. It's the best part, guys.
This is now immediately turning to a classic Thanksgiving dinner here with the family, arguing at the dinner table. Oh boy. All right. Final little thing here before we get into the big topics. Apply. Apparently, you're very passionate about Japanese robots. Which is your favorite Gundam Wing trailer skin?
The Mercy one is sick. I'm not gonna lie. I know people are hating on the Mercy one, but I think she got the best skin. I bought the Soldier one though. I like the Soldier one.
Sick,
Yeah,
bro. Yeah, the Mercy got the best one for sure.
the Mercy one's got the best one. The highlight intros are sick, and the colors are cool too. But I didn't really like the Reaper one too much.
Yeah, I think we can take a look at them as well.
Pull them up.
They're like
Solomon.
2,800 coins each or something like that, right?
That's chump change for you, Reinforce.
Don't
Look at that Dyson
spoil
fan
the
back
illusion.
there.
Okay, I
He's
know
got the
the
Blizzard show money coming in. He can afford it.
Dyson fan and Peloton in the background. I need to change things up, bro. I need to change things up. All right, here we go. Wow, that is an amazing skin. Actually.
This might be my favorite collab. Like, no joke. Gundam is fucking sick, man. I love the skins.
Oh, so you're the fan? I should have asked you instead.
I don't know much about Gundam, but the skins itself look sick.
Gundam's fucking awesome, bro. I used
So
to
what's
watch it
the
as a
deal?
kid, like when I was growing up, it was it's unbelievable. The show's crazy. I think the Mercy one is definitely the best. I love the Soldier one though, like a lot. Like the gun, they've all added like their own little sound effects and stuff. But yeah, the highlight intro is already sick. It's one of my favorite collabs.
I think all the skins are even cooler now. Like every skin they release from now on, just because the possibility to play in third person in Stadium, it's so much cooler to be able to see.
Yeah, I've been
They're
rocking the
100%
Mythic
thinking about
Rhino.
Guys,
Can
what
you
map
even
is this?
play
I don't recognize this
anymore?
map.
What
What is this?
even go here anymore?
Low gravity. Wow, what a concept. They said they're gonna bring back classic maps to Stadium, so maybe we get Horizon Lunar Colony again. Thoughts?
That would be kind of cool.
Sure.
Just shove whatever in there, man.
Yeah. Like literally any unused asset that we've ever not used, just shove it in a Stadium.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. I think even Clash like functions pretty well with Stadium, all things considered. You know.
Guys, we can finally go to that area, Kings Row, that's been fenced off. That used to be for the PvE. We can finally go there, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Archives. Whoa. Let's go. What a throwback.
My chat wanted to kill me because this thing got announced, and I was like, "Oh, Transformers." I was I legitimately had no idea, man. There's like a certain subset of my culture, like the global culture, that I am like legitimately don't know nothing about. I don't know anything about a single collab that Overwatch has done except for Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's the only thing I was even remotely familiar with.
The best part about that is we already had a Transformers collab.
Yeah.
So you should have said, "Oh, Transformers again," but Transformers for the first
I've
time,
already
like we didn't already have
forgotten,
one.
man. Like I'm too old for this, man. Holy
What is
crap.
a Doki anyway? I have like no
Dude,
idea.
I
Like,
don't know
legitimately was
either.
like, what is Doki? What does that mean? What is
I got all the skins
really?
though.
This is
I'm
not
pretty
good for our
sure
audience.
it was just for like it doesn't actually mean anything. It's not like based on a specific anime. It's just like based on the genre of anime.
Yeah, that's
like
what I was
magical
told.
girls and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Sorry.
the heartbeat thing or something. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I need to do some more research for these Plat Chat episodes. All right. Well, there you go. That's a very long moose pooch. Let's head into the appetizers. Last time we did one of these big roundtable episodes. We already talked about FREJA because it was after the FREJA playtest, of course.
Yeah.
But now we had an opportunity to play FREJA some more. Apply. You got the Galactic weapon ready to go. You've been just farming the FREJA clout on social media, on YouTube, and everything. You're just farming all the views. How do you kind of feel about the hero? Like 1 week in here.
I think she's great. I saw Spilo tweet about it as well, but I think they've been killing it with the hero design lately. I hope they stay on this track and keep doing what they're doing. I think it's crazy that they're already buffing her too. I saw a Tree tweet from Liquid that he thinks it's going to be the same problem that Sojourn has, where it's just going to be so rough to balance because low elo doesn't have the problem with her at all because they suck, but she's going to dominate like every high elo game so easily, the same way Sojourn does. I'm curious what you guys think if she's going to take over Sojourn's like spot in pro play. I think she's still a little too squishy compared to Sojourn's 250 HP and just, I mean, Sojourn's ult, it's much more consistent. Everything about Sojourn's way more consistent. But personally, since I'm just like a ranked player now and it's like just grinding casually, I think FREJA is so fun for content, for everything.
She might be the most fun DPS in recent memory, honestly. Like all
I
their
think
DPS,
so.
in fact, that they've released in Overwatch 2 have just been just unbelievable. Sojourn is sick, Venture is fucking sick, and FREJA too. I don't know if she would take over from Sojourn, like you said, too consistent with the railguns and like being able to one tap somebody almost instantly. Like you need to hit the double right click. I've been playing a ton of FREJA, like she's fun as hell. Hitting the double right click in the air, like straight like back to back without someone healing the person you've stuck. Like that's how you get the one tap, which is way less consistent than like a Sojourn rail. Her ult sucks. Or at least the wind up to it. The ult itself is decent, but like the wind up thing where you're stuck in the air and it feels like it takes forever. That
You can't
does
use
not
it in a
feel good
1v1
right now.
unless you have the element of surprise. You just die like every
Yeah,
time.
you just instantly die because you're like in the sky and then you're also not being able to shoot at the same. Yeah, it feels awful. The wind up needs to be a little bit quicker for it to
I
be more
FREJAX
consistent.
like once a game. Like
Yeah,
my ult gets canceled like every game.
Easily. She's one of the most fun heroes, though, that they've released. Like, holy fuck. The mobility is sick. And the perk where you get the extra dash when you updraft, like, oh, man, it's fucking awesome, dude.
Applies perfect. You just put an X at the end of FREJA, like, oh, it's in the name. It's in the name.
It's in the name.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I just realized
My
that.
opinion on FREJA is that she's not exactly in competition with Sojourn, in my opinion. I think that comes down to movement. It is not necessarily damage. The movement for FREJA, a lot of it is vertical. For Sojourn, it's horizontal. And when you're talking like flatter maps like your Suravasa, Lijiang Tower, I feel like Sojourn's always just going to be better there, right? For those kinds of maps, I think she's going to be much stronger. But with FREJA, I feel like she's competing more with Ashe for maps like King's Row or Gibraltar or Dorado. Basically anywhere where horizontal movement is a little less valued, and she's probably able to beat Sojourn and Ashe on those maps. And I feel like, you know, she's pretty strong in those situations, right? Even like Ilios is another good example of a pretty decent FREJA map. I feel like that vertical movement and the presence of that is going to be very valuable. The one thing that I think is like maybe a concern when you're talking Sojourn versus FREJA, or like I guess more so FREJA versus Ashe, because I feel like they're more so competing, is that Bob is just better than the FREJA ult.
Easily.
So it's like, you know, our team's gonna decide to go with the Bob, or are they gonna prefer like maybe a little bit more burst damage with FREJA? Because I feel like FREJA's burst damage is just super good. So we'll see what happens.
The consistency is like how easy is she able to, are you able to clear her? And a lot of that comes down to like the map and like the tank choice. Like Sojourn is like, can be difficult to clear, but can definitely survive any dive with slide, right? But with FREJA, surviving a dive, even if you have double dash, is not always fast and snappy enough, especially with 225. And it's more about like using the verticality, like you were saying. But if the map doesn't have that verticality, then, you know, so it's like this weird like Echo Sojourn hybrid kind of a thing that's like, there's a lot more asterisks on your ability to survive a dive than there is with Sojourn.
I agree.
It's crazy how they keep like making heroes that it's not like a niche hero where that feels a specific niche. It's just like in between two heroes. Like they keep managing to find these like small slivers of like creative potential, and then like, okay, here's a hero, and it's like, what the fuck? It's not like a Soj where she has up to 2 slides, obviously with the double slide perk, but like, and it's not an Echo where she's like a flyer or anything like that. She's not like an Ashe where she's a stationary like turret almost. Like, yeah, it's really sick. The burst damage is ridiculous, and I've hit some insane shots like on Hollywood. Like they're coming out of the gates and you're on the high ground, you just dash up and you hit one slide and then hit another, and you instantly blow someone up. But like clearing her, I think is just way easier with Sojourn as well. Like you can just body shot somebody with Sojourn full rail, and it's like, well, they can't do shit. With Freya, it's like you have to land the projectile, which is like way more difficult, especially in like a dive kind of scenario. It's she's not taking over Sojourn. I don't know if she'll see pro play. Maybe if they keep buffing her like they've done, like small little things, maybe make the ult a little bit better. Like maybe, but she's not taking over Soj. It'll be like a Freya Soj kind of hybrid thing, but then also Trace exists.
I've always said that this hero is like a healthy Hanzo. This is what I wanted Hanzo to be. Because you have a bow hero, or like, a bow type of hero in terms of falling under that category, but that isn't super reliant on, I need to get this long range one-shot headshot, otherwise my hero doesn't do anything. So they managed to sort of fill that gap quite nicely, although Hanzo still exists, the question mark. But it's like they figured out how to do a bow type hero without making it super toxic in terms of design. So I like that.
All right, everyone's really satisfied with Freya. That sounds good. So just to clarify the balance aspect of it, like, do you think she's too strong right now? Is she perfectly balanced? What can I see? Can I play?
She's fine.
I think it's
like
perfect.
Her neutral is
I think she's
decent.
fine.
Yeah, and like she can like 2-tap people, like that's possible. It's just her ult. If they sped up the ult animation a little bit, then I think she'd be in a really good spot.
Yeah,
That's what I would buff to.
Yeah, I think her being difficult to play is important. Like if she was an easy character to play, how strong she would be such a big problem. But because she is hard to play, I think she finds her way into the game pretty well.
Yeah, I like how they've started to lean more into, with both Juno and Freya, like survivability really comes at more like out of the box instead of just, this is a defensive cooldown.
Yeah.
Like, like I remember a lot of people were like, Juno needs to self-heal, Juno needs more speed with this, and actually a lot of Juno's defensibility was just like rotating before you had problems, and I think Freya's kind of similar, and I think that's a good take, and that definitely punishes lack of responsibility. And I also think that she's one of the characters right now that has like such an incredibly high skill floor that like she feels probably a little bit weak right now in a lot of situations, but I think that's probably good. Given because I think like it's just going to take time. Like you're going to need like a few weeks from now, maybe our thoughts will have changed, because I think most people are not very good at her right now.
We're going to start seeing some freaks, man. Like,
the
one thing I struggled initially, and everybody will, is like projectile speed in Overwatch. If you look at every single character, is so varied. And like Hanzo, for example, has 2 different types of projectile speed: his storm arrow, which just got buffed, and then his regular arrow shot. With Freya, it's like quicker, but then not as like quick as like a new Zen right click. Like there's a small gap there between like the speeds, and the high skill aspect of the character is really good. And I'm glad they continue to, like you said, continue to release heroes like this, because I think one thing a lot of more casual players I think would look forward to when playing a character is like how many cool moments are there. Like that seems very generic, like as a term, but like, if you hit a double shot on someone, that's cool as fuck. Like, and that creates like a highlight and like a memory in your brain, you know, and positive memories associated with the hero is a good thing. It's very like psychological point, but like Ryan is a good example, a very easy example. Big shatter equal cool, equal endorphins. And I think Freya fills that niche where like, if you're terrible at the game, you might not be able to do that too well with it, but you're still gonna sometimes land those double the right clicks, double right clicks to like blow someone up or like hit a mid-air shot. Like those are still possible, and I think they've hit a good balance with the character.
I think there's like a myth that a lot of people will say that, like, you know, new Overwatch 2 design is super gray, super middle of the road, there's no sharp edges, and I think that they've done a much better job of kind of demonstrating that you can have like really crazy, weird, sharp designs that still feel relatively balanced. Like Venture freaking goes underground, you know what I'm saying? Like Hazard's entire aesthetic of like having a tank that can wall and move and wall climb like he does, then now Freya, right? Like these are very visceral, sharp designs that still feel relatively dynamic and relatively skillful, which I think is really, really cool.
Yeah. I think Freya's perks is also a great example of how perks should be used too. I think her selection of perks is like the best they've had so far. she really does like her playstyle ramps up differently depending on which perk. I also think the two major perks could be chosen like based on how you want to play as well. I think the Relentless Barrage or the Updraft one, I think both are solid picks.
Yeah, I just want to take a minute here to just give a reminder to people what those perks are. So we can talk about what perks are the best as well. So the minor perks are the primary fire slow. You get consecutive shots, you slow an opponent. And then there's the minor perk that reveal enemies to you that are low health. Then the major perk, like you mentioned, Updraft, grants a temporary free use of Quick Dash. And Relentless Barrage, direct hits with take aim refund for automatic bolt ammo. So how do you kind of think about that selection then apply?
I mean, I think the Updraft perk is probably going to be the best for like, really high mechanical players. Like I was watching Tree use that one. And I mean, it just gives him another opportunity to get a 2-tap. Like Jaws was saying, it's all about hitting that double direct. And if you have another dash, you have another opportunity to do it. But I do think in like a 5v5 scenario, being able to like permanently slow a tank while also having the Relentless Barrage give you more ammo, it can keep your uptime in like a brawl fight really high. But I'm not sure how important that would be to like not get the Updraft one. But Frost Bolts is a crazy perk for the minor one. A minor slow is wild. It's really strong.
20%. And like her rate of fire is like her left clicking is really quick. So for me, I'm instantly like the critical health enemies is quite interesting. I play a lot of Venture as well. Like I just play the weird heroes, but the sense people underground kind of thing is pretty handy sometimes. I do see some Venture players doing that. But I don't think you'd ever take it over something that gives a slow to another character. Like slows in Overwatch, because we've like strayed away from stuns, are kind of like gold dust. And I think 20% is enough where it's not like too broken. If it was like 30, 40%, like you're walking through fucking sludge, they would feel terrible. But Frostbolts definitely is the better one. And then, yeah, like Apply said,
I disagree.
I'm not sure.
I disagree, actually.
Major. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I like tracking instinct in most situations, most maps. I think scouting is like really important for how you position with the character. And unless I'm spending a lot of time pressuring tank, which depends on the tank, depends on the map, I like want as much scouting, as much information as possible. And generally,
I guess on a dive, it would be better.
It's just a lot like wall bangs, basically. Like any duel I take, I have wall bangs if I hit one shot, and it just gives me so much more information.
Are you talking from like a more like a ranked solo queue perspective? Because I'd imagine on a team, like if you played in like an organized team, that would be way less useful because everyone's contributing to the scouting, if that makes sense.
It's not just about like knowing where people are. It's also about like if I hit a shot on you, like critical is super forgiving. I don't know what the actual percentage is, but it's like 30-40% HP or something like that. And so like if I get you low, you're done. I have wall hacks on you now. So I've seen this all the time. Like I'll just dash right behind a wall, and I know because I'm pre-aiming before they even know where I'm at. So it's like I do think it's situational, but I think the crit perk is underrated.
No, I actually do think it's underrated as well. That's why my big point was I think it's a rare instance of perks where I think all four can be used for some things. I think the crit perk is really good for hunting her bounties down because she does get 3 final blows. She gets her ult faster. So if you can see the low targets and hunt them down specifically, you can get your ult faster. But yeah, I just think there's use for both. I mean, having, especially in 5v5, being able to slow the one tank, it does make his life hell. Like you could win a game off of their tank not being able to play well.
Yeah. Wrecking balls love it.
Yeah. Well, honestly, fuck them. So. The major perk though, I feel like the Updraft is better. From my experience, I played a little bit Relentless Barrage, but like having the extra dash I found is just way more useful. Yeah. I've always thought reloads in Overwatch are a bit like, they're not that long. It's not like I'm reloading a fucking RPK from COD 4, where it takes like fucking 17 hours to reload this fucking thing. Like a lot of the time they're just inconsequential.
Okay, so can I drag Scott under the
fuck him up, bro. Blame him.
Because speaking about the reload here, I heard that there was like the whole director's take where Scott was kind of like explaining why they have the forced reload. I don't give a frick, Scott. Shut the frick up. Get rid of the stupid forced reload. Let me shoot my bolt. Like at least give me the option with like the Baptiste weapon where I'm not locked into the reload. I can still shoot the bolt if I'd like to. But that is such a ugly quality of life thing. I'm sure there's a good reason why it's there, but I
Don't
don't
they just
care.
put in the options and just let you toggle
They
between
should
the
be
two?
able to. I'm sure that they will. I'm predicting next patch that it
It
will
feels
happen. but
bad when you're in the
It really
skies.
feels bad.
And the FOV changes too when you try and do
Yeah.
it, because it looks
Yeah.
like you're trying to right click. And I had it a few times
then you're
today where I'm
locked
like,
and reload.
dude, I want to just bolt right now. Like I don't
Yes.
want to just be left clicking.
Yes. Yes.
I would say a quality of life would be the opposite direction, where you can actually fire the bolt without the fucking reload. It doesn't fit. That's the only clunky part of the kit I found.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so before we leave the Freya topic here, if there's any viewers here who are still kind of confused about the hero, I know we talked about maps, we talked about compositions, what kind of like Freya is replacing here. But if we just want to give like a quick one-sentence summary of like when should you consider picking Freya, what kind of advice would you give? Like when you're in the hero select screen, like, oh, now would be a good time to pick Freya. What do you have in mind?
I think Ocie said it best. I think she might be the most like map dependent DPS, at least right now. It really does depend on what map you're on. I think Dorado, Kings Row, like even
here we go.
Ilios. This is a
How come you're
bad
using
game.
my
This is a
Come on,
bad
man.
game of me. Why'd you pick this one, dude?
I don't know. I just skimmed through the VOD.
I'm wearing the
You
same
could have been
sweatshirt
happy
in
to
this
submit any
video.
match. Should we scroll, Solomon? Should we
No,
scroll?
no, it's
Find
okay.
something better?
Where's the Spilo gameplay? dude?
Apparently this
Yeah,
doesn't.
let's go. Diamond
You want
Nah,
to
Flash.
show my
this is
montage,
good.
bro? I already made one, man. I got
The Jaws is nice on the Freya. Also,
It's been pretty
they
fun.
they announced the Freya is being announced in Stadium mid-season.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm really interested
really
in
cool.
that.
And all new future heroes they said as well, I think.
All of
like
them
all
at the
new-
same time.
No, well,
No.
like when new heroes are released, they're gonna be in Stadium as well every time they release a new hero.
Oh,
so,
okay, I understand.
yeah.
It's a good cadence.
This gameplay reminded me. I think Diva is rough, or she's rough against Diva as well. At least a good Diva. The Divas I played as don't really do much, but Diva can really stop. Right, so can Genji. Yeah, I got that Genji there.
Wow.
She's so squishy that Genji really melts her if he can get like a good right click dash.
Okay, I gotta change the sense. Yeah, the sense was the problem.
It was. This is
Change
the
it up.
first day I played a Freya. By the way, I just want to point that out.
Okay,
Gotta go
okay.
to Galactic
I
Weapon
was looking for
respect there.
1-to-1. I still
Isn't
don't know
it
what it is.
62.5?
Yeah,
I think?
I think it is.
It's
Yeah.
weird because it's like they didn't. It's not the same as other heroes like Ashe or Widowmaker and stuff. It's like a different ratio, right, for the 1-to-1.
Yeah, it's 62 or something. I don't know. I think Spilo said it.
Spilo, how does this gameplay compare to yours?
It's the real accuracy is a little sus. Let's just put it that way. But obviously,
That
I
was
have
perfect
tens of
gameplay right
thousands
there.
of
That was
hours-
nice though.
Tens of thousands of hours in aim training, so not everyone can compete with my level.
What rank are you now apply?
Like GM2, GM1, I think.
Oh my
For Freya.
god.
Yeah.
Still got it. That's crazy.
I'd
All
get to hit champion. I'm wash.
You got it. Bro. Just a
Okay.
few games of Freya.
Okay. Well, we can talk about being washed later. I respect the galactic weapon though. I respect saving the competitive points
It's
for that.
huge, dude.
That's
The
a mega
weapon is
cloud.
ginormous.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I love it. All right. Well, that's Freya for you. We already spent a large chunk talking about Freya in our previous roundtable episode. So let's head into the main course, the big stuff. Social media has been an absolute mess the past week. There's been a lot of talk about hero bans and how we feel about hero bans, how it affects some players more than others. I've seen some people take it in stride if their hero gets banned quite a bit. I've seen others not take it so well. So I think we can kind of just unpack this whole topic. We can obviously talk about it competitively and how it's affecting gameplay and stuff like that. But I also think we have to talk about it from a sense of like people booting up their video game, their favorite video game, to play their favorite video game and not getting to play their favorite hero in the game, which I think has caused the most kind of, lack of a better word, drama on the internet here. So
I have an article for you.
I tried to find some good links where it was the Battle.net forums or deep in the quote retweets. But
I got a link for you.
Okay, well, apparently AVRL's got the good stuff.
I'm a supplier. I'm a supplier.
Okay,
of
well,
links,
here
guys.
you go. The Mercy
Okay.
mains say they're being oppressed. Spilo, take it away, buddy.
Okay, can I just say something okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I know I found this Reddit post before it blew up on Twitter. It was like on r/Mercy mains, and it didn't have that much upvotes. Like it was like
Wait, the Mercy mains Reddit.
Yes, the subreddit.
Go there right now, Solomon.
It's deleted now. I'm pretty sure it's deleted. I'm pretty sure the post
the whole
is deleted.
subreddit?
I'm
Thank
a
God.
regular on there.
No, this post. My point being is that what happens is it's like classic social media, like Dixerito or whatever. It's like somebody finds something on a subreddit. And it's like, dude, look at how stupid brain dead Mercy mains are. And then it's like, boom, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, it's dumb. The person that posted it shouldn't have said it. It was kind of like, obviously, but it's r/Mercy mains, and it didn't even have that many upvotes. So it's like, I mean, yeah, it's dumb, but like, it's not that's like that popular of a narrative. People are just taking like an easy to beat up straw man and running with it. So
I didn't think it was just the Reddit post. I thought it was just in general. Like there was a lot of tweets flying around, especially after J3's tweet. I think J3's tweet blew up most.
What was
I was in
J3's
that
tweet?
stack.
What was
The
J3's tweet?
We were playing the whole day.
We can bring it up, actually. It's in the document.
If we can bring it up. We were playing the whole day. We were playing a little bit of Stadium, then 5v5 on the first day, and we banned Mercy every single game.
Oh,
And he's laughing. He's laughing.
But see,
Very
that's the
evil.
thing. Jay, people don't like Jay for the drama previous, so everyone just dunks on Jay no matter
true.
what he does. So
Oh yeah, because the first game we got, it was a Mercy one trick.
The enemy hero, the enemy player.
They
right?
hovered. No, they were on our team.
Oh,
They
okay.
hovered
Well,
Zen,
okay.
didn't say anything. The bans went through, and then they said, "Can we not ban Mercy?" And it's like, the bans have happened, my guy, and you hovered Zen. Like, what do you want from us?
There's
It
another
was-
tweet
it was-
relating to
Real
that
quick,
as well.
that
Solomon.
looks like a perfect set of bans to me. Yeah, get
It
rid of all
does.
4 of those.
Yeah,
That actually
it
looks
does.
amazing to me. I love that.
yeah, I read a really funny story about banning and using a streamer mode. So I was playing in a game and there's like some other streamer mode support my team. I'm like, that's weird. Just like whatever, I don't really care. As soon as the bans were locked, the streamer mode comes off. The account's name is Princess.
Oh my god! I saw a Belnet forum post with Princess today. Is it the
So
same
I
Princess?
I played with Princess.
These poor Mercy mates are having to hide their princess names because otherwise they might get
This
targeted. May not
Princess!
get
Hero
targeted.
bans were
They
named after her.
are. That's the same
Wait a
person.
second.
No
So,
way.
I mean, I'm not,
Spilo
saying
found
it.
him,
So yeah, I'm actually, I'm having a discussion later this week with Mercy mains and Mercy haters about like what they need to do, because I think the really interesting thing about bans is that usually the niche characters that nobody likes is like, all right, like whatever, like it's not a big deal. They can play it if they want to. But now it's like those characters, like with no offense, Somber mains, like there's not a lot of you, all right? Like, let's just be honest, right? Like I like your character, but the real problem we have now is that like there are a lot of Mercy mains and a lot of them are not getting to play the game right now, and like it's
they
kind
can
of
play quick play?
pushing hero design to the forefront, because it's like they're not freaking rolling back bans, and so people are gonna have to stop hating Mercy so much, and a lot of that is gonna have to do some design stuff. So as a design freak, I'm like, yeah. Frick yeah! Now we have a good reason to work on Mercy more. But
Do you not
I
think
agree
though that this
hardcore.
will pass? Sorry, you can go ahead, Ocie.
Oh no, it's all good. I think so. I've been saying this since before hero bans were dropping, that if I have the chance to, or I know my team's gonna run it, I will ban Mercy, Lifeweaver, or Moira.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
How hateful is
And
it?
I don't care. And if someone hovers it, I will ban it a lot of the time. And my thought, and it's funny, I've had a lot of Twitter discussions with people. It's always fun. It's always fun. Basically, like someone replied, well, what happens if your Mercy player swaps over to Ana, and then now they're just gonna DPS Ana, and I'm like, okay, yeah, go do that. Play like Maka, play like Shu, take angles, nade their backline. I'll get some kills.
Please.
We're good. I'll use megas. I don't care. Like I'm not kidding. That's more value still. Like then, yeah, honestly, it is, and it's just frustrating that people don't realize that. Oh, like that would actually be better. And I'm kind of in a place right now where, I have shit on Mercy a lot. Same with Lifeweaver, same with Moira. And I think the excuse that people make for their terrible designs is that they're good noob characters. I think Juno's a great noob character. Not Mercy, Moira, or Lifeweaver. I don't think they're great at all. Actually, I think Lifeweaver is very hard. So that's not, I don't even think there's an argument there. But with like Mercy, for example, Juno's way better. Juno, pretty easy ultimate to use. Torpedoes are easy to use. The fly is pretty easy to use. But there's a good amount of skill expression to be had there, but it's not like Juno's the most complicated hero ever, right? And yeah, you have to aim a little bit, but you're mainly shooting your tank most of the time, so I think you're okay. And my thought is that if Mercy or Moira or Lifeweaver gets banned out, you know what I usually tell my support player to do? Just play Juno, easy. If they get banned out, even if I wasn't the one who banned them out, because nowadays, very quickly, the first day they stopped hovering Mercy, Lifeweaver, Moira. and they started doing either nothing or they'd like hover on it or something and then lock Mercy after. That's what they do now. But yeah, I don't know. It's just
so that has been the response that I've seen. Has been people too afraid now to hover the character in case it gets banned. But then it's like, how do you like play with that? Because it's like, okay, I want to ban Mercy. Ocie's in my lobby. She wants to ban Mercy. And another rando wants to ban Mercy too. Okay, what does the Mercy player do then? Because they've not hovered the characters, so they've not given any intent, and they got streamer mode on, so no princess name. They've got streamer mode on. Oh my god! You see what I mean? It's just
Holy crap!
No one
That's a good
knows,
tweet.
so therefore you cannot be blamed. Like,
But
you
the
cannot be
problem
blamed
is,
for
it's
banning
like
the character.
people are like saying targeted bans, but to me, you really don't
fuck,
know.
you're not hovering shit.
Like you really don't know. Like people, I mean, I don't care if I have a Mercy player. I don't want to play with Mercy. Screw you. Like that's not fun for me. And like you could even say like, listen, I know you're a Sombra main, but I really don't like playing versus Sombra. I'm sorry. Like, so even if there wasn't any sort of like, even if there is some of the targeting is malicious, I would argue that just based off the statistics of what heroes are being banned the most, regardless of targeting, it's probably not targeting. It's just people don't want to play with or against those characters. Like if I'm a dive tank or a dive DPS, I don't want to play with Mercy. Frick you. I don't want to play with you. Like like it's not fun to play. It's not even necessarily like, I know that there's arguments like Ocie saying that like, oh, Mercy is just bad, and I think that's true. But also I don't enjoy what Mercy does when I am playing with a Mercy. I don't enjoy her limitations. And so I shouldn't be held hostage. So it's like, it's a really tricky situation. And like, honestly, like, I think it will be alleviated, as Reinforce was kind of alluding to earlier, once people ban a little bit more strategically. Like right now it's very emotional, it's very shiny, it's very exciting. I think that will settle down a little bit for sure, especially in the higher ranks. Yeah. Probably already has. But the other side of things is that maybe this is just the kick in the pants that like, yo, people really don't like playing with this character. This is compromising. Like the argument that like, oh, Mercy players are suffering. Well, sorry, but this is what everyone's had to deal with for years. People don't like playing with Mercy. When you're queuing in like Plat, Gold, Diamond, I coach a lot and sadly play a little bit in Diamond. And it's legitimately Mercy's in almost every game and has been for years. Like, and like there are obviously ups and downs, but like it's exactly the same.
That's why.
Elo hell, man. And it's like, I don't like playing versus that character. And I don't like when that character gets insta-locked and then that person tries to play another character and they don't know how to play that character because Mercy has no transferable skills, at least in relation to any other character in the game. And like that's just, it just something has to be done. And I hope that this is like an opportunity for both people that hate Mercy to get what they want, and then also the people that have been crying about how bad Mercy is to play and how she doesn't lean into this or doesn't lean into that. The Mercy mains aren't happy with it either, right? So maybe this is the impetus for some change. I'm not honestly so sure.
It's interesting. Feel like an Overwatch 2 character.
It's interesting that you don't have any discussion around like, oh, the Sombra mains are oppressed, the Ball mains are oppressed. It only applies to Mercy. Right, so the conversation should
Ball is banned a lot too, but they're not complaining.
Yeah, exactly. And the difference is, I just think like Mercy's been the most coddled hero since the start of Overwatch because it's the one untouchable hero that you're not allowed to balance, you're not allowed to redesign, you're not allowed to nerf this. Otherwise, the Mafia will get you. They do exist.
Oh, you're done already.
They exist. They absolutely exist, and that's. They hold the game hostage. They absolutely hold the game hostage.
They do. I used to be a Mercy one trick. They had a whole Discord server with all the Mercy one tricks in it. Okay? I used to have a YouTube channel. And I was a Mercy one trick. And I made videos about how we were like being oppressed and shit. It was really funny. Okay? And there's this whole server of Mercy mains. The Mercy Mafia does have a physical form. It does, because I was part of it.
Yes,
and
I'm sure.
You have to make a documentary about this.
That's a good documentary.
The reason why
making a documentary on the insides of the Mercy Mafia.
I think if there's a number of like the number of Mercy one tricks compared to like almost any other character, like Mercy has to be like that in Genji or something like that. Like it has to be like the highest. And so like when you get that many of any player, they're going to have some toxic subsets. So I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. And I really do think that people that play a lot of Mercy, whether it's r/Mercy mains or SKSD or anybody else, like they legitimately are not happy with the many of the things that we're not happy with either, right? So I think like that's kind of like what I want to lean into. I think the reason why Mercy mains get dunked on a lot is just because there's so freaking many of them. you know, and
Dude, there's nothing worse loading into a game. You got Princess 69 and Princess 420, and you're like, well, who's got the faster PC, bro? Who's going to lock in that character first? And
well,
the other
that's the
character's
problem.
going
No
to have to be someone
transferable
else.
skills. Very little transferable
Exactly.
skills.
Oh,
right?
you want to play Ana now? You want to play like fucking your
and it's
break?
not just
Like,
mechanics either. Don't people go,
Yeah.
but what about Ryan? Ryan is right now way harder to play at the skill ceiling of what you can do positionally.
That's
Mercy
right.
isn't even encouraged to move half the time, which is crazy.
1.5 second GA, bro. Feels
So.
good, man.
All right. So we've had our fair share discussing, the dilemma of this whole thing. But I think there is, a larger question of like, what do we actually do about this? Is there anything to be done about this? Because the
No.
developers face a situation now where a reasonable population of their player base, the biggest one-trick hero in the entire game, they can't play their preferred hero a lot of the time. Maybe that will die down over time. Maybe people will actually ban heroes that are like the strongest in the game over time. We'll see. But like, what do you do with this information if you're an Overwatch developer? It's just like, well, Mercy's not overpowered, but like, do we rework Mercy? Because like that might not be super popular either. But like, that seems like the only thing you can do.
That's literally what you have to do. You
have
have
to do
a
it.
giant data set of what has been banned, at what ranks, how often, how frequent is this character banned. Mercy's going to be up there, Ball, Doomfist, Sombra, like all those characters. Widow as well, probably in the lower ranks. Like, dude, the Overwatch forums fucking hates Widow. Holy shit.
I've heard rumors.
Do
Sorry,
not
in the
go on the
lower,
Overwatch
lower ranks.
forums.
And people like
Look
playing
up Widow.
Diva and Orisa in the
It's
lower
great.
ranks, and so Sora gets
Yeah.
banned all the time apparently.
Exactly. So they've got this giant data set now, or they will over the next season. I would imagine they're going to start using that data next season or the season after it. And they're going to see and like, okay, so now we look at the character and go, what are the pain points of that character? What is frustrating about that character? They can do that in numerous different ways. And then you just have to remake them or like change them to the point where they don't play like they play right now, or at least augment it in a way so they kind of do but kind of don't. Like, that's just what you have to do. You have to rip that fucking band-aid off, because otherwise that character, and I kind of disagree with your point in like the bands will figure themselves out and people will less ban on emotion. I don't think that's true with anything below like high masters.
Well, it
low
can't get
GM.
worse.
No, I agree. It's a very small percentage, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's like you just have to go ahead and rework the characters to be more enjoyable to play with and enjoyable to play against. And Mercy, I think, is trapped in this Overwatch 1 system where like she worked fine in Overwatch 1, and when the game came out it was new, fresh, and it was like a different game.
Everything
Well,
sucked in Overwatch 1.
Everything's stuck in Overwatch 1. Yeah, I agree. But they've not made any substantial changes to the character. Obviously, the ultimate would be the biggest one. So that they're just going to have to do it. They're just going to have to rip the band-aid off. And if we lose a few Mercy one tricks, that's fine. Because
I got another
at the end of the
suggestion.
day, they're not going to be able to spam anyway because they're going to get perma banned. So,
I got another suggestion. Here you go.
Let's hear it.
There's a non-zero chance this could actually happen. Instead of doing all of that, what they're instead going to do is appease the one tricks by allowing you to not ban. You can't ban the hero anymore. Mercy is now
Protect.
exempt from hero bans entirely. It's
Oh,
permanently
wow.
protected in bans to appease the Mercy mains, because the Mafia have held their Glock in Aaron Keller's face, and it's like, you know what? We will allow Mercy to be played in every game. In fact, Mercy now has to be played. It's mandatory. You have to pick Mercy every game. The opposite.
dude, there you
Let's
go.
split.
Hey, and guess what? You can go play another game mode if you don't want shit banned. There's a
Real.
game mode called Quick Play. There's also mini game modes in Arcade, and Stadium also doesn't have bans. So the person that's going to sue Blizzard for banning the characters that he paid good money for skins for the characters, I don't think you've got a case, sir.
Also, doesn't I
just
feel like other one tricks just play their next hero, but Mercy players don't have a next hero. I think that's the
because
biggest
there's
problem.
no transferable skills. There's none.
It's
Right,
because
they
there's
don't have another hero.
there isn't
there's-
another hero that
Yeah,
is
there's
close
nothing
to
like it.
Mercy. Like a lot of them are rage picking like Lifeweaver and like Moira and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, I'd actually rather have
Those are my
characters.
3 bans, and you just gotta make sure those are your 3 bans.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
look at
it
Zed's-
opens the conversation. It's like, yeah, because we kind of touched on it. It was like, why is this hero being banned? And it's not because people just love oppressing Mercy players. It's because people just don't like to play with this hero,
Yeah.
either against or on your team, and that makes
I
the
think
conversation.
I think Apply
people
loves
need to have.
oppression. He gives me an oppression enjoyer.
I ban all ball players. I'm a
Alright,
ball zen
How
ban.
many
Anyway,
mercies? How many mercies
Okay.
would you even get in GM? I bet, like, surely not that many.
It's
at all.
more
many.
Moira. Moira is crazy in GM. There's so
Yeah,
many
you
Moira
wouldn't,
players.
you wouldn't even have to use a mercy ban in GM, surely, because it's like
Yeah.
barely anyone
No.
playing
People
mercy.
still
not
do it
good
anyways,
enough.
just because of the meme right now. They just ban Mercy for no reason.
Gavin Winter says, the system designer in my chat, he says they wouldn't do true protects.
Yeah, I don't think right now with the cast that we have in terms of heroes, protection bans at all, I don't think it would work. If we had like, oh, like even League of Legends doesn't do that, and they have 2 billion characters. They don't have protection bans. You can again same system as Overwatch in a way where you can hover your pick and then you go into the ban phase. But in general, I don't think this is a ranked fucking mode like this. We go in to win. We go in to pest. Most of the time, pick the best heroes for the situation and hopefully win and team up and press our Qs at the same time and win the game. You know, like that is what the mode is for. The mode is not for like running it down on a character that no one wants to play with, no one wants to play against, like, and just because it's your fucking one trick. I've always viewed rank that way. If you're an OTP, like, just suck it up, bro.
All right. I feel like we got all our anger out, all our opinions and qualms with this topic out. We're done talking about Mercy. So let's celebrate hero bans for a little bit here then. What has it been like actually playing competitive with hero bans? 4 hero bans is quite a lot. It drastically changes the game. How are you enjoying the implementation of hero bans? What are your go-to bans? What are your thoughts about the system in general, aside from all the Mercy stuff? How has it been working out in competitive?
Pretty good. Like I've really enjoyed it personally, and also it makes me feel like I'm playing on Korean servers more because I actually get to play Winston and force it. Like I can just ask my team, "Hey, ban Hog, please," and people are fine with banning Hog usually. So, Hog is a really easy ban. Like you ban that, and then after that, everything is kind of you can deal with it. You can kind of swap between Diva, Hazard, and Winston and play dive and force it from there. But I feel like bans can be pretty useful if you're not banning out to just prevent your own team from playing something, which actually I found over time isn't the most consistent way to do it, especially because it's just unpredictable at this point. They're just not showing you what heroes they're going to play. They're not, they're hiding at this point. So may as well go for the Tor bans, the Hog bans. I think the one thing that makes no sense for me is the prevalence of 2 specific bans. The ball bans make sense. Ball's strong, right? Ball's strong on specific maps especially. I think Doomfist bans make no sense to me, and Sombra bans make no sense to me. I think Sombra, unless you're like 100% wanting to run ball, and even then it can still be fine. But like otherwise, I don't see a point in a Sombra ban because I feel like Tracer's just I know.
It's more of
but I think support players are also allergic to playing Brig. So that's kind of the issue.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the point. They don't want to play Brig. They just don't want to play Mercy. About assassination.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so. I mean, I guess so, but like, Tracer's still better at pressuring the backline than Sombra, so it's frustrating to me when like people constantly ban Sombra. It's to the point where like I tell my teammates, hey, let's ban this because Sombra's gonna be banned anyways. The other team will do it for us if we don't do it. So
at the end of the day, people below, like I said before, low GM and below are banning more off of feel and like the actual game. Like I want to enjoy and I want to play this kind of character, and GM and above I'd say are going to be like, okay, fuck Sojourn, fuck these like higher stronger characters, like those kind of bans I would say will get settled in time, and like, okay, let's ban the OP stuff that we don't like, and every other rank below that's going to be like, I don't like playing against this character. And I actually think that's perfectly fine. I think that's a perfectly fine way to ban. If you're banning somewhere every game, I'm cool with that. I don't care. If you're banning Hog, banning Ball, banning Mercy, like to me, that doesn't matter as much. I'd rather ban personally, like I only play in like mid-masters on like DPS. I personally don't like, I will ban Mercy every game because I don't want the other hit scan to have a fucking Mercy player and I can't win fucking duels or anything. So I think it's perfectly okay to do that. And that's going to continue. I don't see that changing, that viewpoint changing at all. There's no way people start banning more strategically as time goes on. And again, that also gives the devs a good data aggregate and just like, hey, this character fucking sucks. Like, we need to change how the way they play extreme mana.
Yeah, I had this talk with Custa, and we came to the conclusion that I think this problem is just like a high elo problem, but because not a lot of people queue at high elo at the same time, you tend to get the same like 10 to 12 players in every single lobby, like when you're queuing consistently. So a lot of the high elo bans have actually been like guest bans, like, oh, I know IRPs in these queues, let's just ban Moira. Like, every single game has been like that. And I talked to Custa and he was like, yeah, funny. I think this is just going to be like a top like problem. Like I know I had 6 in my queues, like the Hog player for like 3 hours, and he didn't get to play Hog once. Because like they just know that there's a high chance that we're all queuing at the same time in high elo. There's not many players that's going to filter it in. Just guess if he's gonna be on the other team, and most of the time you're right.
That's
So
crazy.
That's been the majority of the bans in high elo for us.
Dude, freaking IRP was in my Twitch chat the other day. I have no idea where he came from or why he was there. Just completely out of nowhere. I was like, dude, why are you here?
He
Holy
faded
crap.
in, bro.
I guess so.
He was going to
Wait, the
complain.
He's
infected
been
tweet.
playing a lot of
Keep the
Zen.
infected tweet. It's really funny.
Yeah, we can bring this up so much.
Oh, the
Their own team bans Wrecking Ball, Orisa, Winston. All of them.
Ban out the hero pool. Get rid of infected.
Oh, that's funny.
The good news
Play
is
Roadhog, you
Infected is a
coward.
very flexible player. So of any NA tank, he should be okay, right?
Yeah,
So-
he's pretty
Surely.
chill, bro.
Bring out the
I
hazard,
mean,
bring out the ramp.
this is definitely just a. Look, CJ's
Yeah.
is fucking. Your team has been
CJ and
improving.
Ryan.
I'm proud of you, boss. Dude, that's so funny.
Do you guys think that 4 hero bans is the perfect amount?
Right
I think
now,
it's
with the
good.
character, the amount of characters we have, I think it's the perfect amount.
I like
Yeah,
how much
like,
it changes
nailed
the compositions. I feel like if it was like 2, you could still play the same like comp type, but I think 4 bans changes like a lot. Like I
Yeah.
very rarely like do I have the same backline like the entire day.
It's good. I think
Feel
if
fre-
we
does it make
double
rank
the
feel
hero
really fresh
pool,
for you?
Yeah.
then maybe put an extra ban in. But right now, I think it's perfect.
Have you noticed that any of you actually like pick depending on what the hero bans is? Kind of like a stupid question, but like, do you keep in mind just like, oh, these 2 tanks are banned, so therefore like I'd open up playing this hero instead? Like, does it change in any way the way you approach like the hero selection screen?
It should.
mean,
I've
yeah,
just been one
it
trick in
should.
FREJA,
Forces
but
you
yeah.
to do
Yeah.
that.
But
Yeah.
you can't play certain DPS heroes or tank heroes if a certain backline is banned and et cetera like that. So it depends. Like, yeah, it changes everything.
Yeah.
That's if you care about playing the right comp. It might not change if you don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is anyone banning Freya or no?
Not
Yeah.
really,
A few
no.
Freya
that's-
I don't
bans.
think
Because
so.
that's funny.
Not in my
because-
games.
As of
Yeah.
today, yes. Since the buff.
Because you would usually
Oh,
think in
yeah.
a lot of games like League of Legends, the new character gets banned a lot, very
Yeah.
frequently.
Banned. Yeah.
So
For like 2
interesting
weeks.
that Freya's not
Crazy.
copying too much right now. Maybe because
Yeah.
like Freya's seems pretty balanced, not like not oppressive as a hero, is not
if
like
it was
a
release
unlike
Sojourn,
hero.
if this ban system came out with release Sojourn would be banned every game. Because
Imagine
people
if
would
this system-
be sick and tired of one shot.
Imagine the system had been here for season 8 Malga. And how the developers would have had a peaceful holiday.
Glorious,
You know what I'm saying?
a glorious season where Malga's banned every game. Yeah.
Can you
That would be
imagine
so
being like
I
a
think-
Blizzard dev over Christmas and being like, shoot, we messed up, guys. Like we messed up.
Isn't the whole?
What have we
I feel like
done?
Malga was the impetus for the whole like, guys, we need to get bans, and guys, this game will be solved with bans.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Could
I
be.
feel like that is what
I feel
created
so.
the whole discourse in a way. So
Potentially,
hero.
yeah.
you know, Malga gives and takes away more, obviously, but you know, did gift us one thing.
Yeah.
All right,
That's wild.
to wrap up the hero ban segment here, Solomon, I'm once again going to ask you. We got a 1-minute timer on the bottom left here on the graphic as well, guys. We loaded into a 6v6 match here. I don't know what map it is. We need 3 hero bans
Please,
quickly. We need to decide as a team what hero bans are we going. Start the timer.
Where's the
Mercy.
map? Somebody tell the
Ball.
map. Somebody tell the map. Tell the map. Tell the map first.
I don't know what it's
Paris.
supposed. Esperanza. We're going to Esperanza.
Paris.
Esperanza. We're on Esperanza.
Ben, are we doing old Overwatch 1 heroes?
No, we're on Esperanza. We're on Paris. We're on Esperanza.
Okay, Widow.
Esperanza.
We have to ban. We have to ban.
On
all
Esperanza, Widow?
No,
Mercy Doom Ball.
You guys are
Oh,
gas
so
No,
win
ban
the
Hog.
game.
Ban
Because
Hog.
the gas
We're going
ball.
dive. We're going dive. We're going dive.
I
Mercy,
know.
Moira, Life Weaver.
Hog
I don't care.
Ball, Mercy Hog Ball.
Why
Yeah,
ball?
sure.
I just hate Ball.
Yeah, I don't mind. I would say
Josh,
Hog
Hog
Play
Life
for
Weaver.
Taurus Ball.
Reinforcements on our
Mercy.
team, we have to play Ryan, so we got to ban something to help
You
gotta
Ryan.
Ban Ryan.
Ban
Ban Ryan.
Ban Ryan.
Ban Ryan.
I'm targeting
Ryan,
reinforce.
Okay, so we got what? What do we got? We got Mercy, Ryan, and what?
Roadhog.
Okay.
Red Hog. Sure.
We were
I want to see the reinforced
We
wrecking ball.
lost.
Reinforced wrecking
Get
ball.
it out. Get it out. Hog.
All right, the timer's up. It turned out to be Mercy, Ryan, Ball, and Sombra. There you go. Great
game.
job, everybody.
It's gonna be a good
great
one.
job.
Nice.
It's going to be a
Solid.
great year.
What we should have
Well,
done is
that's a last session there.
all 6 of us should have submitted 3 bans, and then we calculate the score and find out what the ban actually was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of impromptu. Maybe we'll do
I
that
have a
next time.
I don't know about you guys, but I have a default ban. Like I always click the same 3 heroes every single game.
Yeah, give it to us. What's your go-to 3 heroes?
Mercy,
Well,
Doom, Ball. I just
Of
hate
course, you
hate playing
ban
against
Mercy.
Fist. I hate playing
How-
against
how many-
Mercy, and Ball's kind of annoying.
You would
How
ban
many-
Mercy, wouldn't you, Jaws?
Yeah,
How much- how much-
I would actually. Yeah, I
I
fucking
got a
would.
question. How much Malga is actually being banned, considering like he was the hero that kind of causes
Like
discussion?
none. I don't
None.
see any
Yeah.
Malga bans. Yeah.
0.
Yeah,
It's
nobody
just
nobody
funny.
cares after
That's
the
funny
tournament.
that Malga
Okay,
created this
you
whole
know?
thing and they just walked away into the sunset. No one's
It's just
banning.
freaking- it's just
Yeah.
freaking-
They forgot about them.
He's so freaking hard now, you know, like
Yeah.
depending on the situation and map, like you have to be super good with Malga to get him to work most of the time.
This is literally Thanos sitting down after the snap at the just taking it all in.
Looking
Yeah.
at a grateful universe, just chilling, you know.
Look
Yeah.
what I've done for them. They have
Yeah,
hero
they did
bans now.
The universe is a better place after the snap, after hero bans came in. All the Mercy players are just, disparaging. Yeah, well, Mauga's a very 2024 ban, so, didn't quite make it to 2025. There we go. All right. Well, looking forward to see more about hero bans. Let's move on to the other main course we got served up for today's episode. It's Stadium, of course. So, if any of you don't really care about Stadium, now you can go into the practice range and jump around with Widowmaker or something. But we've been,
So true.
I've been playing a ton of Stadium. I pretty much exclusively just played Stadium this week. I got 12 hours on Ryan in Stadium, and I played one comp game. That's what I've done the past week. I haven't even touched FREJA, to be honest with you. I've just played Ryan in Stadium. I freaking love this game mode. I think it's freaking hilarious. Who else here has played Stadium? Who else is really passionate about Stadium?
I play a lot of Stadium, yeah.
I play
Good.
Quite a
Stadium.
bit.
I'm Elite 4. I'm up there.
Elite 4?
Yeah.
I'm Pro 5,
Bro's-
buddy.
Bro's
Are you
in-
watched?
Bro's in the
Come on,
Pokemon
man.
League.
Yeah, come on, buddy.
Yeah.
My bad. I didn't know.
There you go. There you go. So what are our big takeaways from Stadium here? Obviously, I think the launch went about as good as it could. It's obviously a little bit more fun. You can queue into a Stadium game and people don't really care about the composition at all. They just want to play what the fun hero is, which, is perfect for a video game. Like you tune into, your video game and you're just having a fun experience. It's really entertaining. It gets super silly. We'll see how competitive kind of turns out down the line if people take it more seriously. I really doubt it. Maybe at like the highest rank. But overall, I think we can all agree that it's been a fantastic addition to Overwatch and it was flawlessly executed. And it's an amazing mode.
I would say my only worry, I think, for Stadium is if a meta evolves. And I think that's where like consistent every single season and half season, obviously mid-season patch as well. I think what they need to do is like more drastic than the normal game right now, change up different perks, different powers, different items, and different heroes to keep it as fresh as humanly possible. I know it's going to be quite difficult, but in theory, with new heroes coming in every season, like it shouldn't be that bad, because I think the most fun you can have with Stadium when everything feels kind of new. And I think this game mode, if it had a like more meta kind of composition or like items, power-ups and stuff, that is when I feel it would get rather stale, especially as you move to a top end of gameplay, because naturally, like Apply, for example, is going to be near the top end because he's pretty good at Overwatch. He can click a mouse pretty well. And if a meta starts forming there, I think in general is, same 5 heroes and we're going the same builds every single game, like, and people are dying like really quickly in Stadium, even after like round 2. That's my only fear. And I hope the balance is like harsh and often to keep it that fresh new feel every single half season.
So you're
Yeah.
saying that for a game to function without balance, it needs a constant influx of new content.
boom, boom, boom,
Like
boom. Just keep
Marvel
rolling them out.
Rivals, right.
Yeah, basically.
No, actually,
that is their technique, yeah.
I feel like Stadium gives me a similar vibe to Rivals in a sense, and I do have a few, I think, criticisms of it and things like that. Also, it looks like my power just like went in and out. So if I go out randomly, it's because there's a thunderstorm warning.
The Mercy
That's your
Mafia.
voice,
brother.
Yeah,
No
the Mercy means
criticism
they're coming
allowed.
after me. If I
you
don't
left
make
the
it out,
Mercy
you know
cult.
why.
They left
Yeah,
the Mercy
I
cult.
defected. I
The
defected,
Discord
and now
server,
they're
the rally.
coming back from me.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Hey, where are the machines? Holy crap.
It's over for us.
Another emergency alert. There we go.
Oh no.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
well.
What are they
Ryan's
cooking?
got Dave.
Anyways, I'll get this out before the emergency alert is done. And then I'll. Oh god, wait, I think I'm good.
Oh no, wait. Is back. You cut out for a
Okay.
second. You're back.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bit. I thought that was a bit. That was
Sorry,
perfect timing.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? Ocie? You cut out. Sorry.
Anyways, my criticism of Stadium before I leave, because I just want to make sure I'm safe. The first thing is that
I'm listening.
Oh,
I'm listening.
no.
There's
I'm
no
listening.
way.
It has to be a bit.
yeah, no, I think these are connection's getting cut out. Yeah, I think you can skip me for now, but basically I think it's too deathmatchy and people die instantly late game. That's to sum up my beliefs. And also I think there will be metas that form. And there's a lot of builds that are just useless. Like they're like, hey, this is a build you can do, like Baby Diva, like the ball slam thing. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work at all. So I feel like with Stadium, like there is going to be a meta, and also there's going to be a meta in terms of the people who take it seriously. And they're probably going to, in the hero spawn, like in the hero select screen, I think especially for tanks, they're going to go with the safest possible pick. You know what I mean? They're going to go with the safest pick. So why pick Diva if there's a chance they're on Zarya? You know what I mean? Like it's going to turn into that game of like, let's go with the safest possible choice. And I also think that like Spilo's saying, I think it is very casual. I think it has to stay casual. I don't think it'll ever be a competitive thing. But the problem is that for a game to continue, I think long term, I do think that the people who will stay and be your most loyal players are the ones who want to get better at it. And there is a competitive drive there. It's always to get to a higher rank in Stadium, get this, get that, get better at the game. I think that is something that keeps players actively engaged, and people will keep getting better at Stadium.
Yeah, I would definitely echo that point of like the late game, like getting one tapped by a Cassidy in the head as he's getting damage boosted by the Mercy, and like the Valk healing 4, and like, you know, the Baby Diva stuff sucks, the Zarya with giant bubbles. And that's why I think, like I mentioned previously, to keep it fresh as possible, just like constant, like just fuck shit up, make it casual, like, and I think that's what's the best thing about it, because it is super fun. You jump in and it's just like wacky builds, and like,
you guys are doing the soldier heal station build.
Yeah,
running around, dude.
Honestly,
Jay was doing that. He's just running around the point. It's so funny.
We had the Aaron Keller, like when he and Dylan and I think it was CarQ and me and Flats. We were in the call and we're 5 stacking on the Stadium playtest, and they're like asking all these questions, and we were stacking afterwards and like joking and talking, and I'm just like, dude, I gotta figure this heal station build out. Like I'm like completely tuned out, and I'm like, I got the regenerate, I got the speed, I got the freaking the ability cooldown, and I was like up to 600 HP when I pressed heal station with 100% uptime, and it was terrible, but it was so much fun. It was so much.
I mean, I've lost that.
Bye.
This is like,
bye, Ocie.
see you later.
Good podcast. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay.
Stay safe.
Be safe.
This is where I'm talking about the fact that, like, I think you can get one shot, but you also have situations in late game where also just no one dies, because you can build so much HP, so much mitigation. Soldier heal pad build he makes him unkillable. He's so fast you can't even hit him.
The Orisa one is wild as well.
He has the HP.
Awful.
He has the HP and uptime of a tank with the movement and the hitbox of a DPS. Like, how do you kill this guy? It's like impossible.
Yeah, well, he doesn't do that much damage. Well, I guess it depends on the build, but yeah.
You do the little AoE, because like I said, James doing that with the AoE thing, and he's just like
Big heal
chasing
station.
off to
do
supports,
damage
bro.
too,
You just run in the middle, then run in the middle
so
of the back line. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, like there's
It is
certainly
the two
situations where
extremes,
things
I
just
agree.
don't die. People just don't die as well, so it's like tough. I've had situations where I'm like shooting, pumping and damage, like I'm not doing anything, because if you get one person, specifically a tank, and double pocketed, and they have 800 shield, armor, HP combination, and damage mitigation, it's like, dude, what are you meant to do? They just feel like it exacerbates the raid boss situation to like the nth degree, you know?
Yeah, but I guess that I don't think that's a fixable problem. Is like my point.
I think that's okay though, in a weird way, because
I think so too.
Yeah, I think this mode is more built
here
for
we
like.
go.
Oh, here's my
casual
fast right
now
now.
we're talking, baby.
Oh, boy.
Johnny
Look
on
at
the
the- look at
right.
Hit him off the map. Hit him off the map.
Oh, boy. Oh,
Look
my
at the skin
God.
too.
Wait,
my.
he's freaky
He's
with
looking
it.
fine.
I'm just lobbing in the fire strikes.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Wait, what's gonna happen here, bro?
Oh no!
Dude,
What?
Quaked on schooled your ass, bro.
Guys,
sit the fuck down.
I didn't know this area of the map
too.
existed. I didn't even know you could go underground on this map. What the? What?
Yeah,
How-
you can.
Yeah,
There's
Has
like
that
a
been there the whole time?
It's like the freaking sewers in Elden Ring. You're like, wait, that's a
It
thing.
is,
yeah.
Wait,
But, like,
that's been
wow.
there?
In general, like I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think overall, like having these like omega raid bosses, like either build on Orisa where you couldn't die because you're healing for % health every single time you use an ability, and then all your cooldowns are super low. Like I think that's fine. This game,
What's the counterplay,
although it
though?
has the rank system,
What are you supposed to do?
Versus Orisa, just don't shoot her. Literally ignore
Just
her.
don't shoot her. Shoot everybody
You
else. Like
literally
that's
cannot
Just fast,
kill her
you
at
run
certain
around
points.
Orisa.
You
Kill
literally
the support.
cannot
it
kill
has
her.
a it has a
Yeah.
ranked mode, but like it should, and I think is going to be treated more casually in that way. And that's why I said like you said, Spilo, like, hey, if it's like Marvel Rivals where they're updating it and like changing and fucking pulling wires and like doing all this crazy shit, I think that's fine because it keeps it fresh for a long time. And with the addition of new heroes, every single time a new hero comes out, they're going in Stadium, and they're also releasing however many heroes they said every single season as well. Like, keep that up because that's what people find the most fun is engineering a build from just looking at the screen, not like going to youtube.com and going best Rhine build to get to top rank. Like, that bit is going to be fun for a small section of the community, but ideally you have the casuals that are like every day trying something new.
I got a Reinhardt build coming out on my YouTube. Check that out.
Let's
build
Nice.
free time on Reinhardt. Yeah,
What's the
cool.
strat?
Check it out.
What's the elite strat? Is there
You just
any
build
like
Fire
one
Strike.
popular?
Okay, so this
strikes,
actually goes for Stadium in general, but I've noticed, and I don't know if you agree, but my theory is that if you really want to win games, you really just have to specialize and just push one ability or whatever as much as possible. So in the case of Fire
100%.
Strikes, it's actually silly. If you start winning a Stadium game, I can scale my ability power faster than the enemies can build any kind of survivability or anything to do about it. And so if I don't purchase items to get the most ability power as possible, I'm kind of griefing because I can outscale my fire strike damage more than they can get health, and I'm just one-shotting people in the lobby. Like, it's just stupid. Like,
They should buff the survival items.
They kind
should
of actually
buff them.
should buff the
Yeah.
survival
They
items,
should,
yeah. But it's the same thing. I suspect. I've only played Rhine. I haven't played any Cassidy or Soldier. I know they scale pretty well as well.
I mean, Soldier
But
is crazy.
the worst kind of like offenders is in this mode is if you play something like a Cassidy and you scale one thing really quickly as much as possible, because then the game just gets out of hand.
Well, that is the best way to play almost any game, right? Like, WoW
it's
or like
inherent
any kind of
synergy.
League of Legends, like any kind of, you name a MOBA, you're not building like, okay, there are certain heroes or champs in League or whatever you're doing across the board stuff, but more often than not, you want to build the one thing that the character is very good at. Cassidy, very good at hitting people in the head and doing damage. Build only damage so you can one-shot people, you know?
Yeah.
Like Orisa, she's very good at staying alive. Only build tank Orisa, and like it makes the most sense, like logically. So I don't
What are
think
these VODs, Solomon? What the hell are you doing?
it's you dying, bro. Like that's what these
Look
VODs
at
are.
that face.
I
Look
like
at
it.
that
I'm
face.
enjoying it. I'm
anything
enjoying
better.
this.
Crying?
Like,
Is he actually crying?
I
Like
couldn't
live on
find
stream?
anything better.
He might
Christopher
be.
started playing Overwatch. Is that
Wait,
an uncoachable
dude,
reference
Johnny,
on
you
my
linked
Plat
this.
Chat?
Okay, well, mistakes were made, obviously. I don't know. Great clips right there. But yeah, I don't know, like if there's anything they can do to mitigate that problem, but I don't think it should be like I mean, there's probably no way to like really fix it. Maybe you give people more HP or more mitigation or something like that. Make mitigation items better, like I said. But like,
Oh, gosh.
the fact that my Fire Strike build is just to get the most ability power possible and not build any other item,
You can't
like,
change
that's just
that.
stupid. It's
That's
just,
like fundamentally like unless you're a Quake character and everybody is the same, that like fundamentally every character is good at one or two things. So you build towards them to abuse it as much as possible.
I have a thing here. I actually think the one part of the game that I'm not particularly a fan of, that I don't think anyone really ever mentions, is the automatic scaling that you get, because you get like passive scaling the game every round.
Yeah.
And I would prefer if they didn't do that and they just put that power into items and made you buy the items, such that it would make buying the items and choosing items more of a deliberate choice and potentially more punishing if you don't make the
There's a
optimal
reason
choices.
they do that though.
And
It's
therefore,
satisfying. It's progression though.
yeah, you get progression by
Linear
buying the
progression,
items. I mean,
yeah.
that's progression too.
Yeah, but there's a
I would-
limit. There's a 6th limit. You know, like
They
you
could
gotta,
unlock the limit and just
you'd have
'Cause
to
I-
remove the
unlock the
passive.
limit.
because there's a few things that I think would be really cool in this game mode. I got a whole list of it, but like to start with, it would be the fact that we're talking about like survival items, right? You could probably buff the survival items if you didn't have the automatic scaling, and you could just make the survival items like have some sort of ability to scale on par with damage items, so that if you are building into survival, you're not getting Giga one shot, and then you don't have a situation where survival items stack too hard because you're not automatically gaining stats. So there's a trade-off. If you're just building survival, you're not getting ability, you're not getting weapons. So you might be tanky, but you're not doing much in the other areas. And I don't think it's good when you get automatic scaling. Such that you could build all survival, but then you get automatic scaling in other areas. It's like, okay, so you just get other stats for free when you didn't build for that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're cast, you want to build only damage, the weakness should be you just die. You shouldn't just get free HP for nothing, right?
I think if we really wanted to take this seriously, which I don't think that they should, the reality is that they probably would not want powers that give 40% ability power, right? Like you would have to, you'd have to go literally through every single freaking perk and make it like, yeah, some perks give you more ability power, but it's like on a gradient that's not so extreme. But again, I don't know if I necessarily want that for what it's trying to be, but. Like some of the later survivability ones are too survivable. Some of the damage ones are too damage oriented. But like that's just the nature of the game mode. But if you were to actually address that, I think that's where you would have to do it.
There's a lot of levers because I read the AMA, and one of the things brought up was like how they will approach things like balancing future. So it's not like they don't care about. They will be doing some balancing for this game mode, even though it's a fun game mode. It's still ranked, and people still want to win, and still people still want to have a fair gameplay experience. So things like I know which item you talk about. It's like the 40% ability power. And that's all it does. Only gives you 40% ability power, but that's like obviously a huge amount. That's like the most expensive item in that ability pool.
Yeah.
But they can make it more expensive. They could either tone down the percent or make it, because it's currently 13,500. They can make it 14,000, 14,500. Just like tune the cost to make it work. Yeah. Right. So there's different ways. I actually like, because they mentioned there's way more levers in Stadium to approach balancing compared to the normal games, because you can look at so many different areas of the game and change it up to try and approach balance it, which I like.
Are there any more interesting kind of tidbits from that AMA? I didn't read the AMA, so...
I got one for you. I actually had one. I prepared, just like for the dinner theme, got this one prepared a little earlier for you, Jonathan.
Oh, we got a picture here.
This one was from the oven. Okay. I already had this one.
We got a picture here. Someone can bring it up. AVRL, do you want to?
So yeah, I'll explain it. It's a lot of text, so you don't have to read the whole thing. I'll explain it. The summary here is basically long term. How are the devs going to address things like? It's not counter picking, but it's like what happens in the hero selection screen where I pick D.Va, you pick Zarya, and I just lose, right? Because you can't swap heroes. I don't know what you're picking. You're not counter picking me because you don't know what I'm picking, but we can just get unlucky in the RNG and then I can't swap. So how do you address that situation? Then how do you have situations like the OP here said, like, how do you, when they eventually add heroes like Fire and Ball, which requires some level of counter swapping normally, like let's say, for example, Fire gets played and there's no hit scans to your team. What do you do about that situation? Because you can't counter swap to counter Fire. And so the response here is they want to address the ability to counter heroes, not in changing heroes, but in adjusting your build, picking powers, and picking items. So one of the items brought up here that was interesting in that third paragraph at the bottom by Justin, the senior software engineer, is Genji has a power called anti-beam coating, which allows him to essentially deflect or at least block damage from beam attacks. Usually that would destroy Genji, but now you can buy that to sort of mitigate that a little bit. So you don't just lose to Zarya more in May game, which trust me, I've played a Genji game where those three heroes in the other team, and I wanted to cry. So, yeah, that exists in the game. I would like to see something like that for D.Va against Zarya as well. And then for things like...
D.Va's got a Matrix thing that's like...
They just buffed it in the recent hotfix.
Yeah.
They just did it? Yeah. So that's what you need. You need things like that where you don't just lose in the hero selection screen because they picked the normal, either soft or hard counter your hero.
Can you imagine Genji like versus Farah? He's got like the Sekiro Ishin Sword Saint phase 2 where he just like whips out a Glock. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got a perfect. He just literally, just has a revolver. You know, like
That's a throwback. We had a Plat Chat episode in 2019 where we gave the feedback, give Genji a Glock. So that's a great throwback to 6 years ago. Thank you.
Oh, you can fire your fire strikes as a projectile. There you go. That's what you need to do.
Oh, your Dragon Blade things? Yeah.
Yeah, your Dragon Blade, yeah.
There's, I've seen items already. I can't remember if it was an item or if it was a hero power that allowed you. I think Anna has one which allows her to deal more damage to aerial targets. Yeah. Quick scope.
It's an item,
deal 20% more damage to airborne enemies. So that kind of thing could exist in the game to help heroes deal with flying heroes eventually in the future.
Or you could just do it where like you save up like all of your points, and then if you save up like, let's say you make like 50, 60,000, you spend all of it and you just kick the person from the lobby.
Tactical
just character change. A $60,000 character change.
Yeah.
It's like other things I think would be good in this mode as well. For example, just on like an artistic position, obviously the game mode is still pretty fresh. and I imagine they'll make more changes further on. For what it's worth, the shop and the interface, the UI and everything looks pretty polished right now. But I think the one key ingredient missing for me as far as the art style of the game mode compared to like actual MOBAs like League of Legends or Dota is the items are not very distinct. Like it's hard to like press tab or whatever and just be like, okay, I know what the build is, right? You don't have these very distinct pieces of art for items like you do in League of Legends, where you look at somebody, you just press tab, you look at somebody's items, you can just like, okay, that item, I know distinctly what those all are. Right now, you look at like the purple abilities and they all just blend in together. They all just look the same because it's just purple with like
but that takes time. Like playing a MOBA for the first time, you look at the item shop and you're like, what the hell is a Lich Bane, bro?
But they are very distinct in terms of how different they look.
Yeah, so like having one color scale for an epic item, and then it being like
whereas right now
color of purple.
You press
I kind of agree
and
with
it's just purple sludge across the board, and you don't know what's going on. It's like
there
hard.
Should be more
like,
colors, is what you mean?
No. It should be distinct. It should be distinct in that if you look at an item in League of Legends, one item is very distinct from the other, and you know immediately what item that is as soon as you look at it. You can't confuse it with something else. Right now, if you press tab and it's purple sludge, you got no clue. And yes, if you play the game for 1,000 hours, maybe you memorize every single item, even though it's all purple sludge. But that's not ideal. You want to be able to press tab and instantly know what you're up against, right? That would be the ideal situation.
You guys ever find yourself counterpicking much at all? Like counter building?
Never.
No, I played against Frogger yesterday and I got knockback resist on Ryan, and that was a lot of fun.
I get shield break against Ryan. I get shield break personally.
Yeah. I played versus
like
an
one
Ana
item to counter pick, and then that's it.
I did one game versus like super uber like survivable cancer Orisa on an AoE sleep build, and I had to like go for full pit mode backline like create space build, but I don't find myself counter building too often either.
I think it's sometimes hard too because you're locked into powers. If you like, because the powers are so detrimental to how the character ends up playing that it's like, oh wait, I shouldn't have gone this because they're doing this. It's now impossible to go back. I would say that is my biggest like pain point, is not being able to sell them. Obviously, it's kind of you're lost to lock in. Like, it doesn't feel good. Like, I want to, I'm going to go nade build, and now they're just going to fucking destroy me with, I can't do shit. They're getting more bubbles, more double Suzu. Like, you know, it does feel kind of bad not being able to sell them. I think if you're only locked in to your first power till round 3, then you can sell it and you can get a new one. And then the new one is like you're locked in for a couple of rounds until round 5. So there's like a temporary lock on them. Maybe that would feel a little bit better. Because I do feel sometimes I'm hindered by the fact that I picked this thing and it is not good anymore. And this is just how my character plays now.
Yeah. Because the other thing, because it's like you pick your first power without knowing what you're up against, right? So you have to kind of like pick a very generic power to start with, because you don't want to lock yourself into a build too early that you can't be flexible on. So that's like kind of, I don't know what to do about that sort of situation either. Part of me feels like maybe it would be, at least for the first power, you should be able to sell it once you know what you're up against. But it's a very, I also am not, I don't know if I'm a big fan of the fact you only get one power every 3 rounds. Part of me would like it if you made the powers maybe slightly less OP and you get 1 power per round. So like every single round you feel like you're making some sort of meaningful progression rather than every 3rd round. Because now it's like every second round, it feels like things get really crazy every second round, and then the rounds between are a lot more like calm, which could be a good thing or a bad thing, but I just prefer consistency. I prefer like to have a consistent experience every round.
Yeah, very rarely do I go like map 7 and get to see like what it's like to have 4 perks at once. So it would be cool. It would be cool to get them faster, just to experience like a full build before it goes map 7.
There's also stuff that would be like cool to build with in terms of powers. Like, oh man, I would love to like, I just can't fit this power into the build. Maybe that's part of the point though, because you're meant to be limited, so you can't fit everything. But there would be nice like auxiliary type of powers that would be nice just to round out your build. You can't quite fit in there. I'm being a little greedy here because I'm basically saying it'd be nice to have 7 powers. But
this is why we play Stadium. Like more dopamine, more points, more powers. Like
that's fine.
I think you could fit 7 powers if the powers weren't like super giga good. Like it maybe slightly less good than you could fit 7 powers. And all it would take, you just tune it down. You just tune some of the numbers down maybe slightly. You could make them work. Yeah.
Big dopamine has finally compromised AVRL. Who would have thought?
I have other, because I've been thinking about this game a lot. This is like the thing that Stadium's like the big thing that I've been thinking about looking at for a long time since like, they announced it. Really, so I don't know. I don't want to just take over the segment, but I have more ideas. And
no,
stuff.
yeah, I was gonna ask like if anything, people have feedback or criticisms about the mode, something they'd like to see change. So if you want to go ham, AVRL, go ahead.
I also don't think the items have enough, like, because I don't know. I'm a bit of a MOBA hitter, so I've come from League of Legends to Dota. I know Jack has, at least from the League of Legends side as well, where like you feel like there's a very distinct item pathway and build, and like the items feel more distinct. So it's going to go back to items.
Oh, you're talking about like, oh, you can buy an item and then you upgrade it. You get more coins and you like upgrade an item to like level 3 or something.
Yeah, so there's a couple things here. One is that I'm not a big fan of the fact that you can sell the items 1-to-1 for the amount you purchased them.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because I feel like that all that means is you basically buy a bunch of items and then you get to round 2 or 3, you sell everything and buy your first purple, whatever, right? And it's just like it's just boring. It's like you're not making really distinct, impactful item choices by just like saving up for purples and selling all your shit and buying your first purple. Whereas if you buy a green or a blue, that should be like a very distinct decision you make that's either going to benefit or punish you. If you want to buy greens and purples early, it will slow down your ability to get a purple, right? That should be a very distinct trade-off. Or you could choose to not buy greens and blues and just save for purple, but then you don't have items. That now becomes a trade-off you have to make as well. The other thing, the problem with greens and blues is that at the end of the game, the only purpose greens and blues have is to fill. It's like, oh, I got like 2,000 credit spare. Let me just buy a blue and a green just to fill that shit out. It's like, that's the only purpose they serve. They don't serve any other purpose in the game, which I feel like is like not great. So being able to combine items and build them into like an actual big item at the end, like you do in League of Legends, serves more purpose to your like green and blue tier items, and making it so that you don't just sell them back for 1-to-1 makes it more of a distinct decision you have to make rather than just a thing you do to round out your build for free.
It has helped counterpicking to some degree though. Like I've definitely noticed that like if I find myself in a 2-0 hole or like a 3-0 hole, like I can't sell my items to just be like, okay, this is not working. I need to drastically change things up here to try something else. And if I'm committed, I don't have that choice. And so it actually gives me an opportunity to like try to change things up there. So I don't mind it as much.
So I think you should be able to sell them, but not for a 1-to-1. So you should get only 70%.
But then I'm set back even more. Like if I'm losing, I'm set back even further.
Yeah, but that would add a reason to save money though, because there's no reason to ever save your money in between rounds. You should just buy all your perks and sell them back.
Yeah, because we want to be crazy. We want to scale. We want to power up.
That's true. Yeah. Maybe if the game was longer, it would be better.
I feel like a lot of the expectations here just are based off of what a MOBA's designed and intended to do, but this just isn't that exactly. You know, like I think
exactly.
even if the 1-to-1 sell thing has changed, the reason it's not currently in implementation right now is because I think they're just trying to onboard people as forgivably as possible, right? They're just trying to make it really forgiving and easy to get it. So maybe there's an argument long term if selling things makes your choices more meaningful and that makes the game more fun. I don't really have an argument for that, but I think right now it's just not intended to be deadlock. You know, it's not intended to be League of Legends. It's supposed to be a lot more forgiving, and the more that you buy and the more that you use your coins, the better. Like we're not trying to sit on the cash, right? We're actually spending it.
So my response to that is like, I agree that we shouldn't just copy Deadlock or League of Legends 1-to-1. Like obviously I don't want to see the game with 3 lanes and a bunch of creeps and jungling and towers, but there are certain things that I think are established in MOBAs that we should like learn from and think about why did they do that in the MOBA? Why is that a specific thing that works in MOBAs, and why do we not do that? And I think items is one of those things where you have way more distinct. I'm not even talking about the artwork anymore. Artwork is one part of that conversation. The other part of the conversation is you just have in your purple screen, whether you go through weapon, ability, or survival, there's like 30 or something purple items all up. And it's like you could reduce that number way down, but make each purple like a little bit more distinct in what they do, and a little bit harder to build into to make it more impactful.
So we have like the building into idea.
So we have the conversation. You brought up the 40% ability power. Okay, great. Maybe that is OP, but if you have to build into that and adjust the cost such that like you have this item, that item, it builds into that purple item, then you could justify the 40% more, or you can change it up or something like that, or you know just reduce the amount of purple sludge in the game, so you have less purple sludge that are more distinct in terms of items. Because if you look at how many, but there is, if you look at the shop screen,
you're not wrong.
There's just a bunch of purple. There's like 30 purple icons. Like, what are you doing?
What about the survival tier ones? Aren't they like all like pretty bad? I think there's a movement speed one that's like such a, but they're like compared to the other ones, they're just you just never use them. The tier 1 survival.
5% move speed, faster health regen, move speed out of combat.
It's like if you grab a health pack, it's like, dude, I'm not freaking grabbing health packs in stadiums. So
yeah, dude, the health pack one, I'm like, bro, I've never touched a health pack in this one.
There's a lot of bloat, about stuff that just is visually confusing and just doesn't really make. It's not fun, nor is it competitively viable. So it's just more on your screen. It's not necessarily better.
So I want to address what you mentioned as well, Spilo. You said like maybe right now it's just better to onboard people without too much, which I like. I do kind of agree with that, but at the same time, when you go down the line, when you get to Stadium Season 3, 6, 10, whatever, because this is going to be a long-term thing, you need to have meaningful depth in this game. And I can imagine if you're a long-term Stadium player, if you want this to be your main game mode and you go down the seasons, this current system is too basic. You need more like impactful depth, which is what I'm starting to suggest with
we're starting Overwatch 1 into Overwatch 2 development all over again.
So true.
But I mean, like, but these are lessons you learn from MOBAs. If you actually look at MOBAs, you look at how they do things like itemization. It's very deliberate. There's a reason why they all do it the same way, because that's the way. It's not just because it's established. It's because, like, I think it offers the actual depth and impact that you are looking for that type of game, and I feel like that's definitely missing.
And it's rewarding. You build that big item, it's rewarding. It's like, oh, I got the ultimate reset. Let's go. Like, this is huge.
Yeah, and I think it can be a spectrum too. Like, I think, like, I'm definitely saying it would definitely needs to lean into the casual side of things. But if there was some decisions that were made for the competitive side of things that don't compromise the silly, like removing the bloat or whatever else, like that doesn't hurt anybody. That's just better for everybody, So like, there's some decisions that are just a net positive, no matter what side of the fence you are.
I also think, I know I'm like talking a lot here. I also think, standing is just a big thing on my mind, that the 6 item limit, on top of the fact that in the items you get, there's also hero power items. Like, there's specific items for the people that don't know yet. You have the generic green, blue, purple items, but then there's hero specific items that are basically mini powers. They're basically perks that you buy, like things like Ana gets like a way bigger sleep dart and like all this other crap, right? Those have a lot of conflicting. It's very conflicting to have to like fill those into like 6 items, to the point where I feel like a lot of the hero specific items are definitely like required for your build and much more impactful, much more needed than most of the other items. And I quite like, I don't want to just copy Deadlock 1-to-1, but one thing that they do that I quite enjoy is they have the item categories are pretty expanded. I think you get like 4 of each item and then it flex. So instead of 6 items total, you get 4, you get like, it's what, 16, so like 4, and then another flex of 4, but you unlock them over time, so you can't just like fill the whole thing up. But we don't need 16 items or anything like that. I'm not suggesting that, but I'm saying like maybe you have like 8 items or 9 items or something, but you just put them in different categories so that the hero specific items fall into their own 4th category. And that way, because we're talking about a system where like maybe cast hard spamming damage is a problem. Well, how about you cap the amount of weapon category items you can buy to 3? How about you cap, maybe Orisa is too tanky. How about you cap the amount of survival items you can buy to 3? That also makes it more impactful in terms of you have to make very distinct choices about what you're getting, and you can't just stack 6 survival, 6 weapon,
it makes builds more well-rounded as well.
MMO and RPGs have like the skill cap, right, where they have like the diminishing returns, where like you get to a certain point and then anything beyond that is like it's 50% increase, and then so you could still lean into the extremes, but it is generally a little bit smart to have a slightly more balanced build. And I do agree with like having a couple more slots would be nice. Like again, it might break things elsewhere, but it is sucky to get to like round 6 or 7 and you're just sitting on cash. Like,
you're done your build.
You're done. And like the fun part of Stadium is kind of over at that point.
To add to that as well, and what you said, AVRL, the fact that the hero specific ones, there's a couple of Orisa ones in survival that are just better for her in like tank builds, that from what I've found, than any purple one. Just any of them. It's like I think there's a blue one where it's like use an ability and you recover 5% of your max health or something. And I'm like, that's really good when you're like really tanky, almost at 1,000 HP. Like you press an ability, you start healing yourself. But that's a blue, and I'm like, I'm sitting on like well, how many? Probably like 4 purples, maybe, and then I'll have 2 blues. And it would feel better if I could have that blue combined with another item to make that thing better, and then it be a purple. And then, like you said, hero specific. So like we have those like generic ass fucking items, and then we have the hero specific ones which you can upgrade to purple, which do a little bit extra with each little upgrade. I really like that idea because it also allows you to play into things a little bit easier, and you can just deviate. And I will say, like, selling items back, I'm still not how sure I feel about it. 1-to-1 does feel kind of weird because you're just retooling your entire kit. If it was like a 0.8 or something,
I'd be okay. Even 0.8, I'd be okay with that. Just not
then,
1-to-1.
like Apply said, it's like at least you have a reason to save a little bit of money. Because right now it's just like, oh, I don't give a fucking shit. Like, fucking throw money here or there. Who cares? Like, it doesn't really matter.
Real quick as well, because I know the devs, because I know Gavin was listening, at least from Spilo stream, but like devs might listen to this and be like, what do you mean you want more than 6 item slot? That sounds ridiculous. To balance that out, because if you get, let's say you get 8 or 9 or even 10 item slots, the fear is, what if I just stack 10 weapon items in there? That's why you have categories. That's why if you do a system where like you have 4 categories: weapon, ability, and then hero specific, and max 3 of each, you can have 12 items.
Yeah.
But you can only put 3
I kind of like
max
that
of each.
idea, actually.
And therefore, you can't.
That's a deadlock.
And therefore, that's deadlock. And therefore, you can't just go like, I'm going to get 12 weapons and just giga stack weapons. I'm going to deal 1,000 damage on each headshot on Cassidy. Right? You can it's 3 of each, but it opens the build up way more. And it means that you can buy things like the blue Orisa abilities, the blue Orisa items, without bloating the rest of your build and clogging up the shit, which I think
then
is
you
way
could
better.
upgrade them if you combine them with items, and then they could be a purple in his own little thing. I like that. I like the idea.
It's a decent idea. We'll see if they take that feedback. Apply.
I'm a big stadium thinker. Big stadium thinking.
Big
here.
stadium thinker, Avril.
You are the thinker.
There you go. Apply. I don't want to spoil the entire list here, but everyone who is watching, they should go to Apply's YouTube channel and check out Apply's stadium tier list. I think it's good. I'm not sure, but I hope it's a good tier list, Apply, because I'm promoting it on the podcast.
List.
Okay, so I hope it's definitely good.
Solid.
Wait, aren't you higher ranked than he is? Now, hang on a second.
Yeah,
here.
we should be asking you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should be asking you.
Yeah, we should be asking me. Yeah,
Nice
I
thumbnail.
need to get my YouTube game. I don't know why I'm slacking.
do.
I
a
should
good
pump out
thumbnail,
the tier
bro. I
list.
like
Yeah, there
that.
you go. Yeah, I have no idea what those porters are, by the way.
Yeah, those are really blurred. You wouldn't be able to
Really
tell.
blurred. That's great. I have no idea. Okay, so without spoiling the entire list here, then Apply, which we might have already done. What are some of the go-to heroes? What are the strongest heroes in Stadium?
I think the strongest build in the game right now is the Juno torpedo build. I don't know what they're.
it's
I don't know.
Dopamine.
I don't know what they're gonna do about that or how they could fix that, but it is ridiculous. And then I think Cass is actually one of the most boring heroes in Stadium because, like you guys said, he just weapon power. That's it.
The
You
right
go-
click.
You,
Oh my god.
you just go full weapon power and that's it. Nothing really changes about Cass from Stadium to the real game. It's just he gets stronger. Like he has no really cool build. It's not like you're doing a flashbang build or a roll build. For a while, the right click build was meta, but it kind of stopped. And then one of my favorite builds that I've tried so far for tank has the Queen Shout build. I don't know if you guys have tried that out yet.
Yes,
the permanent
it's
shout
so
build.
good,
It
mate.
is so fun. So for me, those are the top 3. You know, I've had some lapse of judgment since I uploaded that video. I think Zarya is actually insanely strong.
It's sorry, it's the best.
Yeah,
tank, in my opinion.
I think Zarya is pretty strong. But yeah, I think those 3 or 4, like Juno, Queen, Cass. I think Soldier's really strong too.
Soldier with the tac visor thing is so stupid.
I will say,
like,
so
Helix rocket tac. I'm like, oh, 0.5 seconds doesn't seem that long. No, you can
It does a
literally
lot,
just
yeah.
instantly delete somebody. Like, it doesn't matter. That's as long as it needs.
You know, I had this debate with J3 too, and I wanted you guys to think. I think Ashe is just terrible in Stadium.
She's
I
not
don't know
good.
why. I
She's
can't
too
get a
slow.
good build for her.
It's the game. It's the game mode problem, not necessarily the hero.
Yeah.
It's Clash,
think
King
so.
of the Hill, and Push,
Yeah,
which means
she's
a lot of
way too
repositioning,
slow.
and her base kit isn't good for that.
Yes. Speaking of Ashe
She also
too,
just shoots. Doesn't she just shoot, basically? Like, there's no-
Dynamite's okay, and Mini Bob is kind of cool, I guess, but that's about it. Yeah.
She has the cast
Well,
problem
she's like
on
a
mine.
poke hero, right? She has to set up like on an angle, like start
Yeah.
chipping people. Cass, you just walk with people, boom, boom, boom,
Cast
boom, and you like
rotations
2
are
hit
way
support.
easier. I mean, just look
Yeah.
at pro teams. Like nobody plays Ashe and King of the Hill, Push, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Ashe is like
All
a complete
mobility heroes.
Yeah, it's like you see Cass or mobility. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. After like 1 week of Stadium. Speaking of Ashe too, have you guys gone to first person or third person now?
I can't play
Depends
Ashe.
on
I
the
play a
hero.
mix. I play a mix. Yeah, it depends
I
on the
play a
hero for me.
mix. Yeah, me too. I think for Genji, third person is awesome. Being able to have like the heightened FOV for blading helps so much.
every kind of like hit scan, like I'm shooting a weapon, first person.
Yeah,
Third
I
person
saw
feels
the main suggestion for
strange.
the POVs was that they have some sort of third person zoom rather than going into first person like for Ana and Ash for scoping. I think that would be cool, like some sort of like Fortnite, like third person aiming could be better.
Yeah,
Because
right.
it is really, I don't know how they could ever fix it not being jarring going from third person to first. Like, because like, you know, a lot of good Ash players, they do like, you know, the shoot 3 hip fires, then go to first person to min-max your DPS. But it's impossible to do in Stadium because of how ugly it looks, and it just changes your POV too weirdly.
I play Reinhardt almost exclusively in third person because I just like
Tank's
it.
the best in third.
I've
That
seen
makes
other
sense.
tanks. Like I think both
Yeah.
Cloudy and Crowned Up they play Reinhardt in first. So I mean, you know, kind of depends on what you want to do there. I know this Junker Queen I have to play in first person, and I think it actually has to do with the fact that in first person you get the feedback from the gun, like when you can use your shotgun. Whereas if I'm in third person on Queen, I don't like I press primary fire, but like I don't have the same
It
kind of
doesn't
like
feel like it.
when I'm shooting and when I actually have to aim, and so it kind of like throws me off in a little bit. But I
I would
honestly
say the
like
same thing for Gracie too. You try throwing a knife in third, it's like I don't really
so
know
hard.
I hit
the
so many
angle that I'm
corners.
at. Like
I hit so many
yeah,
corners with my
it's-
knives.
It's odd.
But I will say I'm actually leaning third person more than most, I think, because I just like playing in third person. Like I just love the fact that I can see more of the spatial awareness. Like even like a hero like Zarya, like I like playing Zarya in third person because I can just see more around me. And is this one I'm playing?
And on the casual
Michael?
side of things, you can see your skin too. You spent, what is this, like $100 skin overall? The weapon and the skin.
That's how you get the viewers.
Let's
That's
go.
how you get the viewers.
I mean, genuinely though, that is a really good thing for the game.
Yeah, it
Just
really is. I think
being
so,
able to see your skin like that, it probably doesn't mean a lot to like a lot of us, like, but it's sick.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
by the way,
Green,
side
someone
note,
do the
iridescent
prism
skin is
count.
sick.
Do the maximum. It's like 200 prisms right there on screen.
Yeah, literally 200 prisms on screen, and you wouldn't be able to see any of this besides your weapon in first person.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know. This has done amazing stuff for my average viewer count on Twitch. You have no idea, but it's great.
I believe it.
It has to be
Third
it has
person.
to be
Awesome.
the skin flex. It can't be.
I mean, you're not
anything
getting
else.
more
It can't be the
entertaining, so it has
personality
to
or
be
the
skin, bro.
content. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are the same age, odds.
I'm doing a lot for my team here. I'm making a lot of space for my team here. This is
He's
great.
just charging, bro. He looks good.
Look at that.
It looks
look at
great.
that. That's it right
Yeah.
there.
Bro,
he's zoning. He's zoning.
There's the angles right there.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah. Hitting up with the flank. This is great stuff.
This
And
is
then
this
you
is this is what ball
classic Ryan
gameplay looks like.
and you're like
Actually,
just
Yeah,
he's
it's
actually
ball
cosplaying Wrecking Ball. He's cosplaying Wrecking Ball right now.
Yeah.
You know, Custa was in my chat the other day, and he asked a good question. He said, do you think any of the stadium powers could be added to the main game? And I was a
Didn't
good
they
Ben,
question.
say
I
they
didn't
feel
were
Ben
going to
hint
do
at that in the
that?
Stadium AMA? Ben
Yeah,
said that
so,
one
yeah.
power up was going to become in the main game, but he didn't say
I
what
wonder
hero.
what it is. I hope it's not the May ball.
God, no,
That would-
please.
That would be so cool. I just wonder what you guys think. Like, if any of these could be added to the main game, that would fit well without ruining the game.
Yeah, it's the Dragon Strike projectiles, guys.
That would
I
be
have
cool.
to think about it.
Yeah,
on
I'd
the
have to
same
look at
machine.
them all on a bit of paper and like think about it. Yeah, because there are definitely some abilities. I'm like, damn, and when I'm going back to like
Let Ryan
ranked or whatever,
fly.
I'm like, oh,
Okay.
that would be really cool if I could do that right now. Like, it would be kind of
Yeah,
sweet.
get us a replay. Get us a replay. Let's go. Let's see that one more
I'm
time.
gonna rewind.
I think the main one would be okay if the ice block had like a finite amount of HP, like it was like 300 HP or 400
Oh, and you could
HP. Like,
break it?
You could break
yeah,
it.
that would be cool. Yeah.
If it was finite, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm glad. In a way, I
Sorry,
think
a 150
as well,
charge. Anyone?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's. Dude,
with
Zarya's been
Stadium,
banned so
it's-
much and outside the game, it's crazy. But yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, no, it's all right. Yeah, she has been banned a ton, actually. I've seen a lot of Zarya bans in comp. What's really cool about Stadium, actually, is that they can use it in a weird way to test these, like, batshit crazy,
Yeah.
power-ups. Like, May turns into a fucking ice ball and runs at people. Like, that is so far out of left field for, like, regular Overwatch that everybody would lose their goddamn minds. And rightfully so, because that would be kind of silly, but, you know, unless it had HP, and you maybe could break it. But this is a good testing ground for them in a way to go, oh, new season, here's a few power-ups. How do they actually interact with the game in this environment? And, oh, maybe we could push a slightly nerfed version to, like, a perk. So I think Stadium can be used in that way as well. I really like that idea.
Yeah. Shoot, man, I'm in trance. I can't stop. I can't take my eyes off of it.
I know.
This is why people tune in now.
He's
This
just
is like,
sparkly, bro. He's just sparkly.
wait, replay. Oh, I guess it's over. You guys
We won.
win, so it doesn't
We
really
won.
matter. Doesn't really matter. Okay.
yeah, we had to drop the flex shatter. It was OT.
0.25. I like that.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
Boom.
Wham!
Dude, it looks so good in that skin.
Look at the
sort of
animation
lightning.
on that, though.
Yeah,
That's
Thunderstrike.
Dude, imagine showing an Overwatch 1 release player this Reinhardt right now. They'd like have a heart attack and fucking their head.
They'd go,
explode.
wow, the PvE finally came out.
Yeah, they're like,
They all say.
whoa.
Check out the Reinhardt guide. I'll tell you all about it. I'll show you my dive Rein build. I play like Winston. It's a great time. It's a great time. Okay, final thing on Stadium here. Unless you guys have any more thoughts. Spilo, I guess Gavin is in the chat of yours watching. Maybe later. Who knows? Do you want to should we do a quick critique of the actual ladder we have when it comes to Stadium? The fact that you're encouraged to win the first few ranks. You don't really lose any points at all.
So Gavin,
and then...
I don't think is involved with that at all. So Gavin,
No,
might
probably
clarify
not. No,
it,
probably
but
not. It's the whole Custa thing all
that's
over
not a
again.
Blame
but it's
Custa,
Gavin.
anyways.
That's not a Gavin-esque system. I will
Okay,
say,
so that was
honestly.
Custa's fault again. Right.
Yeah, so
Got it.
yeah, he says it's not his work. So yeah, it's basically the progressive ranking system with Marvel Rivals, but like significantly abbreviated. So it's only the first 2 ranks. And then unlike Marvel Rivals, they're honest about it. They tell you exactly what you're gonna do and why they're doing it. So it's like it's engagement-based matchmaking. They want you to play the game. It's not supposed to be a competitive game mode until you get to the top 3 ranks, I think.
It's
somewhere around
Pro,
there.
All-Star,
Yeah. So they
and...
just shifted the bell
Yeah,
curve
that's
over to what we'd expect. That's basically all there is to it. So I don't care. As long as it's not in the main game and at least they're honest about it, I don't care.
It works.
think
That
the
was
thing,
my
right,
brain.
you-
It does work. It
I
makes me happy.
think the honesty is important because like at least you go into it knowing what it is, and therefore you can't be upset by it because like you chose this. And there's
Yeah.
other modes where it's not it's not like all the rank systems are this one thing, right? It's just for this one mode. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it's also, I feel like, really easy to get out of that. Like, if you're basically like a plat level player, you're probably not, you're already outside of the realm of where that's going to affect you at all.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I think having a distinct rank system between the 2 game modes, like ranked 5v5 and Stadium, is important as well because I think a lot of players' first perceptions, if it was the 5v5, like normal Overwatch rank system in Stadium, it would be like, this shit again. Like, I think having 2 very distinct ways of leveling up, ranking up is actually really
Top
important.
500 open queue, by the way.
Oh fuck me, dude, don't get me started on 66. But like, just from a player perception kind of point, I think that's quite important. Because it's like, I'm fucking hardstuck plat again, bro. I'm hardstuck gold again in this different fucking mode. It's like, no, in reality, especially near the top end, if you're a top 500 player, champion player, whatever, in regular 5v5, you're going to be at the top end. That's not going to matter. But like during the mid bracket where like 80% of the players are, you're going to be somewhat different in terms of like the emblem that you see on the screen. And I think that is good. The differentiation there is nice.
There was a funny bug in the playtest though, that like I couldn't climb up. What's the lowest rank? What, like the
rookie?
Rookie. I was stuck in rookie 5.
Stuck in rookie.
I would win games and it would just hit the bar and it'd stay there. So the entire playtest was rookie 5.
That proves the forum's point though. The rank system is getting you down specifically. Fuck you, basically.
That's true. One other thing I've heard, I don't know for sure, Gavin, I think mentioned this, but I think they actually matchmake based off of MMR, not your actual rank. I'm pretty sure
that would make way more sense because it would feel terrible playing rookie.
Yeah, so like you can literally have like, rookie 5. Like when I was rookie 5, I got put in a couple of Aspen and Frogger games and like whatever. And like it didn't matter. Like I was rookie 5 in a top level game,
Yeah, that's
yes, internal MMR. Yeah,
so shit for the player experience jumping into a Frog or Aspen game if you're silver in 5v5.
Yeah. So it is internal MMR. So you might be a rookie player because you just started playing, and you're going to be playing in top level games if you're actual MMR, quick play MMR, not your competitive rank. People don't understand. There's no such MMR and competitive rank, but yeah.
Okay. One last thing for Stadium, and we can keep this very brief as well. We don't have to discuss it in depth at all. Do you think Stadium as a game mode will bring, I don't want to say bring in new players, but do you think Stadium offers something for people who wouldn't just play quick play or competitive that helps maybe expand the player base a little bit in Overwatch?
Mercy.
Mercy players can play Stadium, no bans.
Dude, there we go, baby.
I think Stadium is the best casual mode they've ever made. Like it is the best. It's better than quick play. It's better than any arcade mode. It's better than Mystery Heroes. Yeah, I think Stadium is the perfect thing for the Mercy mains and the people who just want to play the game. Yeah.
I think Overwatch is unique in a way where it stands if you compare it to every other like Fortnite, Apex, Valorant, where it's like a lot of players play. It's going to relate to Mercy again, but a lot of Overwatch players play to play a specific character or a specific like couple of characters in the way that they're attached to that hero. You know, sometimes a little bit too much, but like, you know, at the end of the day, people like X, Y, and Z. Overwatch kind of is set apart compared to other games that I just mentioned, like that. And I think Stadium and the way it is just so different, and you can play whatever, and you can just clown around. I think that's really good. More ways to play the same core game with the same characters, but just in a completely different way, is always going to be good for the game. Always going to be healthy. For me, I'm still going to be playing 5v5 mainly, but I'm going to be playing a ton of Stadium if I get bored of 5. I don't want to play ranked today. I'll play 5v5. Oh, sorry, I'll play Stadium. You know, like it's
made me appreciate the ranked modes like more, because I mean, before on my stream, like I would do like 8 to 10 hours of ranked, and now I could split it half and half. I feel like it allows you to have fun on like both, just heightened now. Being able to split the time.
It's still at its core Overwatch, and you get to play, well, not right now, but you get to play most characters that you probably really enjoy playing, like Ryan, Mercy, like Orisa, Junker Queen, or whatever. But
Orisa just sneaking in there somehow.
Blended up. I don't know. There's probably some Orisa player in the chat that loves that shit. But
AVRL, did you have this final kind of thing you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, I just realized as well, like, because I remember Spilo kind of ticked this off of my mind, because you were saying how like the Junker Queen knives, you would like hit walls and shit. So like, I think there's an issue in third person right now. Someone made a thread about this and uploaded some images where like, depending on like what angle you're looking at, which shoulder angle, hits can hit or miss. Like it could clip off the wall or not, you know? So on Ryan, I believe this image, both 5 strikes go through, but then what is it? Left shot not blocked by wall, but casting unnecessary stands the open. Right shot blocked by wall. What is this? Using the right shoulder, left shoulder, then
a lot of this is to do with like the way bullets are like and projectiles are spawned from the character. Overwatch, until this point, has historically been a first-person game. So on your screen, obviously the bullet is coming from your gun, the fire strike is coming from your hammer or whatever. But in third person, and that's coming from your eyes too. Sorry, in first person, it's coming from your eyes. You see the animation.
It's okay.
It's coming from your eyes. It's not necessarily spawning. Like it's still, again, you're still shooting. But like if you're corner peeking, in theory, your eyes are like, your gun might not be around the corner on someone's screen, but your eyes are. You can see around the corner. But in third person, that is not the case. Like if you really like hardcore, like Armor, DayZ, like those kind of games, the bullets come from your gun in first person. So if your gun is like on the floor, Red Orchestra is another good example of that actually. If your gun is like pointed near the floor and you can't, your eyes can see over the trench, but like your gun can't, you shoot into the little the wall in front of you. That's just how they're spawning the projectiles is what I'm saying.
It's the difference between centered third person and off-center third person.
Right.
So Ryan has a centered third person, whereas like other characters have like a off-center, which means like Ryan can basically throw fly strike without exposing too much of the body. Obviously, it's Ryan, so he's fucking huge. So
it's
the point
just the
here
quirk
is like
of switching to third person,
because Cass is off-center, to get your crosshair to reveal itself off the wall, you have to stand way out in the open, shit like that. And there's also the Ash scope in image as well, whereas like the off-center camera makes it so when you scope in, you're actually not on the head. Even though I think the projectile size from season 9 means you still hit, right? But yeah, it's just a weird thing.
Depends on the distance and stuff.
Yeah. It's just a weird quirk from always being first person, now translating to third person, which is like such an insane engineering feat to try and like line up these things. Yeah, there's probably some fucked math going on in the background to try and get that stuff. It's going to take a while, I think, to nail it, but
yeah, if you want to watch some of the higher tier Stadium players, I know Chosen is doing a subathon right now, playing a ton of Stadium. And Chosen is literally like bound the key to like where you swap the perspective, and depending on like what wall they're peeking, Chosen is just gonna
I put that on my mouse. I have a mouse button for that.
That's crazy. Holy shit.
There you go. That is quite handy. Well, we made it through the main course, guys. We made it with the main course.
The dessert now.
Yeah, it's time for dessert. All this is the time, the dinner, where all the blood is in the stomach. Everyone's getting a bit sluggish. They're a little tired. All they want to do is like lie down on the couch, turn on the football game or whatever it is. I mean, if you're, maybe siesta, go for a walk or something to digest. But like everyone's a little bit sluggish. But we got dessert left. We gotta get through dessert as well before we wrap up for today. So, Spilo, I know that you put out a video addressing some of the balance changes, of course, that came with Season 16. So we don't have to address it. Like, I don't have to read out every single balance change, but there were quite a few perks that were substituted, that were replaced. And I guess we can just hit some of the bigger ones, like the May freeze, for example. Reinhardt's got an extra fire strike. There's a Roto pig pen extra resource when you hit that. So if we just pull up the patch notes here, Solomon, we can kind of just like skim through some of those perk changes. So this is way back, by the way. This is the FREJA stuff that I think they hotfixed. This should be in the game, I think, relatively soon, because it wasn't for a while.
Now, yeah.
We can keep scrolling. This is stadium stuff. We can keep scrolling here, and then eventually we get to Season 16. This is hotfix. And there you go, Season 16. So yeah, we can get down to the hero changes here. And just give us like the highlights here, kind of like what are the biggest things that stood out to you in some of the hero changes here?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of them are like really, really good. Like before we go like negative Nancy here, I think like they clearly have a vision of like what they want to do with, like, for example, like the diva changes, like kind of combining all the baby diva ones into one, and so that opens up more playstyle variety with what your minor perk does with the boosters. And the hazard one, I think, was a pretty healthy use of increasing his burst damage on not squishy characters, which I think is probably something that he was struggling with. And then, I mean, the Orisa one is kind of whatever. Like, I know Orisa is always a tricky one, but I think like increasing your damage rather than your survivability is probably pretty reasonable as well. So I think there was like a lot of them that were pretty reasonable. The stuff, there were really two things that I think that were really kind of tough, which is, I think anytime that Roadhog gets a buff, like there's just no aspect about Roadhog that people are going to be happy with. Giving more take a breather resource. This is basically a must pick perk now, because it overfills and it never expires. So you just basically have permanently 50% more take a breather, which when you combine that with the speed perk means that you also have 50% longer speed boost as well. So
You'll get banned, don't worry.
I mean, to give him credit, like there is nothing about Roadhog that doesn't frustrate people. The hook, the trap, the ult, the primary fire, the hit, but like it all sucks. So like there isn't a lot, but just again, it just screams rework at this point in time. And he really is at a state right now, since his first rework, to where if he is ever meta, he will be 100% banned. Unquestionably, like as at the same level as Malga. And then that one was not so great. Let's scroll down a little bit more here. Sigma was fine. Nothing super crazy. There's like a lot of good things. Winston is one of those like great regional things where it's like people are like, why is Winston getting nerfed? But it's, again, we got China to think about. We got Korea to think about. It's one of those
only playing Dive and Selkie. Well,
it's just it's apply knows it's the NAEU special. Like we've got a bunch of these like Tor, Roadhog warlords that they just don't have those players, So, but bans help out with that. So, this is fine. Keep scrolling. Fine. Cass is fine. I know. Keep scrolling here. Hanzo's fine. Junkrat's fine. And this one really freaking ticked me off.
Here we go. We can take some time here to like really digest this one. The new major perk.
Takes me off.
Primary fire freezes them for a short time.
What a tasty dessert, huh? Let's go.
Oh,
I think like that whenever I always try to like add this disclaimer when I'm doing this on stream, it's like I don't think that this perk is like going to be the death of Overwatch. You're going to make May like impossible to play versus against. I really don't even think this perk is that good, like the freeze one specifically. Like I think it takes a long time to freeze. It doesn't freeze that long. To me, it's always like opportunity cost. It's like you have so many things that this kit can do. There's so many people that have brainstormed, myself obviously included, different things that you could do with wall mobility or ice block, tweaking the ice block or this and that, or like anything with this character, and we just keep leaning into CC. It's like we can't have a utility-based character like May that isn't freezing people, and nobody wants this. Like I've only seen this perk a few times, and it's always been used to abuse a tank and a choke map. And I was like, oh boy, I thought we were trying to move away from this. It's like not even good. And it's like I don't. It's like the spirit of the change that really bothers me so much. It's like you have so many ideas and you leaned into making the slow perk a minor perk now, so it's even more accessible, even if it is slightly less strong, and then also gave her freeze back. It's like, no, This just isn't it. So I think at this point, like, I think everyone in this call can kind of agree that we have like higher expectations from the design team and the development and the balance team, because all things considered, they have done a really freaking good job, in my opinion. And they've done such a good job. And even this patch is just a majority of W's, but then there's just a couple of heroes where it's just like, man, here we go again. Like, Mei is just kind of just always existed in this weird state. I mean, she still has that freaking wall perk, right? The one that makes her wall last longer, but it's a more cool one.
Yeah.
It's a horrible perk, and it's still there. So it's just like there's a couple of heroes that legitimately feel like they don't get the attention, or maybe the developers don't fully understand what is fun about the character. Like, I know that sounds, I'm not trying that to sound insulting, but some characters just continually seem like they always get misses and nothing but misses, and Mei feels like she falls in that category.
I say we blame Custa.
It's definitely Scott. I freaking,
Oh my God.
Typical. Yeah, absolutely.
I think Mei suffers from the same problem Hog does, and arguably Mercy too, is that they are stuck in like Overwatch 1 mode, where the game was just so varied back then, and like, because it's a hero shooter, right? At its core, Overwatch is a hero shooter, but it wasn't like tested in this way before. And now we have been almost 10 years worth of Overwatch, and we still have these characters that have the same identities, and it's been a kind of small tweaking game where like she doesn't perma-freeze anymore, like she doesn't insta-freeze someone or like whatever, and now we're like sort of bringing that back to them. And then you compare her to like Sojourn, Venture, FREJA, and you're like, god damn, this hero's a fucking relic.
The difference between Mei and Hog
doesn't feel good. No, go on.
Is that I've put a lot of hours coaching Mei, like, you know, Backbone, and I've played a lot of Mei compared to other DPS characters, and like how you play her at the highest level is like it's very creative. Like, there's a lot of things that you can do with wall. You're not standing in a choke and walling choke and wanting tank. It's not that good. So it's like there are, and compared to Roadhog and Mercy, I think that she has a lot more knobs to tweak. Like, apply. You've played Mei before, right? So like there are more knobs and more bells and whistles that you could do with wall and with ice block and with blizzard and with her primary fire and her alternate fire. She has more going on, almost like in a stadium-esque thing of like, yeah, there are more knobs to tweak, so it's a lot easier to introduce things. And yet they keep kind of going back to the same thing. Like, what if the character slowed? What if the character froze you? What about if we made wall last longer? It's like, well, come on, guys. Like, there's so many other thematic. Things that we can do.
It's a free zero.
You have an ice block explode on expiration, it just deals damage.
It's that too, because I think Mei's design is sick. Like, I love ice cycles too, or the icicles, the wall, like, everything about her is cool. I wish they would really figure out how to like integrate her into the game without her being just a CC stun like bot.
Yeah.
I haven't tested out the perk at all. Can it multi-freeze like old Mei? Like, can you freeze multiple people at once? Like, if they're standing together? Like, does it have the AoE freeze?
I don't know. I don't know how many times you get that off in Overwatch 2 anyway, especially with the primary fire range.
Not very often, yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm being corrected also. The wall apparently doesn't increase the cooldown anymore. It just increases the duration, but it's still kind of the same principle of like longer wall. Okay.
Just a more updated version of the character. Just less about being a freeze bot now.
The devs have given us an incredible tool to the player base here with hero bans. And so this is where I try to start a trend, #ban Mei. And I hope we can all rally together and get on social media.
I never see Mei.
Johnny the tank player.
Let's print some t-shirts. Let's get some merch out. #ban Mei.
A one
put it in your YouTube titles. I'm starting a Discord server. Ocie is invited. And we can all rally around this one viral trend, and I hope we can get ban Mei trending for
this brings back the left click Larry Bay, like just only left clicking. I remember during a contender season, I was hanging out with Mangachu at the time. This is like, you know, like back in the day. His advice was to never right click and only left click Larry. Just freeze everybody. Maybe that brings back the left click meta.
Yeah.
Notoriously the Torbjorn player against Korea in the World Cup finals. Mangachu.
Yeah. Dude, he popped off with that.
Yeah.
Was there anything else in this patch? I can't remember.
You didn't cover the Reinhardt Firestrike one. I was very eager for your opinion on the Reinhardt getting an extra Firestrike when you stun.
I like this perk.
Oh, yeah,
I do too.
I thought this perk was great. This is very clever. I think the other perk is much more dive heart, right? I think it's an underrated, the passive regen, especially now that it's 75% faster. But I think this perk is really good frontline. Like, they got rid of the bat. This is exactly what I'm talking about. They got rid of the garbage perk, and they actually made a really interesting, fun perk. Like, like, that's great. I freaking love this.
I love it. It's amazing.
You get one Firestrike per stunned enemy, right? So if you shatter three, you get 3 Firestrikes.
Or a pen as well.
Pen too,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
It is
great.
cool as fuck.
I love it. So I just wanted to
playing into
glaze
the hero
Reinhardt there for a
fantasy.
little bit. Appreciate it. Thank you, Spilo, for
No,
indulging me there.
it was good. it was nice.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, you gotta give credit.
Lion.
We're just giving credit to the developers, bro. We're just giving them credit when they do great perks. So
Hey,
great
listen,
job, devs.
balls and
Great
strikes,
jobs.
man. We're not rage baiting here.
Exactly. Sombra can now hack while invisible.
It's kind of cheeks, but I haven't experimented with it a
Yeah.
lot.
He's
I
getting
just
banned
think
every game, bro. Don't matter.
Control Alt Delete is so incredibly important to get the passive heal like instantly. Like your uptime is like so freaking high with that heal. So I think that's. But I appreciate. I mean, they're trying stuff, so it's like whatever. And I'm glad that Staff Overflow is
I
gone.
think that's the like, despite the May perk that we're like, reverting back to freeze May, left click Larry kind of shit. Trying stuff and like just being like, fuck this perk, get this shit out of here. No, don't care. Like this sucks. Like no one's picking this. Just slamming stuff in is much more preferable than like,
Agreed.
tiny
Yeah,
little
perks help with that as
1 second
well.
thing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And,
You know,
and I
like,
could be wrong too with
I'd
this
much
one.
rather
Like,
that.
this one needs more experimentation, right? So it's like it's at least different. You know, it's not something that we've seen before, and so yeah.
Now it's time for the rare self-glaze. I will glaze myself because on this podcast, when Sombra got reworked, I said that wouldn't it be cool if virus could spread to nearby targets? And they added...
So it's your fault.
So it's very thematic.
It's my fault.
It's
It's
very
my
cool.
fault. It's my fault.
When did you? Important question. When did you say this?
It
Do you
was when
remember-
Sombra got reworked. I can't remember the episode number,
Yeah.
but it was about
Okay,
the
so-
rework, and we talked about it.
but
And I brought up like
his-
the old like Korean like Playgoo like clip from StarCraft.
I'm
or
taking-
something.
Second
I
question.
remember that. Yeah,
Second question. Was Custer on that episode?
maybe. I don't know.
Hey, listen, wait a
I don't think
second
so.
here. He's still
I don't
credit.
think
Be
so.
worth it. Let's still
But-
blame him.
I'm
Yeah.
claiming full credit for Ravenous Vortex, which I think is like one of the most broken perks in the game. So
It's
I'm
very
not sure if
good.
that's a good or a bad thing.
Is that the healing one?
No, that's the
No, it's
manual
exploding one, right?
detonation.
Oh
The
yeah, yeah.
drag
right.
one, where you
I
can
see.
click and it goes down.
I like that though. No, I think that's a good idea though.
Obviously, I'm just memeing. I don't seriously think that they listen to Plat Chat. And I was like, oh, Johnny, like great on the other. No, there's obviously some developer there that.
What other support changes?
Great, great
I-
All right,
my-
let's move on here.
Jonathan's
Yeah.
just gesturing, you know.
Please.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
All right, let's talk. Okay, let's start with
boy.
this one.
Groggy,
Okay,
bro.
two things with Honor. The first low-hanging fruit, which I've already whined about, is there's no way on earth that Honor should have two 14-second cooldowns. That is garbage. The problem with Nade is the bounce effect of and or the damage or healing or the length of the duration of the anti. Like there are so many knobs to tweak with anti-nade that will make it less oppressive, because Anno's freaking busted the first iteration of perks. Like, let's be honest, right? But telling me that we're gonna make it to 14-second cooldown is literally the most unfun way to change a character. You do not make cooldowns longer. You just spend more time doing nothing. It is absolutely ridiculous. 12-second punish window, 10-second punish window is more than long enough between downtime for any other cooldown in the game. It is really, really stupid that they did that change. And they still didn't address the fact that anti-nades still can bounce. Now, they did the damage nerf, right? But it's like a slap in the wrist and then a punch in the face. It's like, no. And then Groggy. So let's talk about Groggy, right? So we all know how Groggy is used. To use it on a tank, it has to be a specific tank that can't block the sleep, whether it's Malga, Wrecking Ball, it's just awful, right? Roadhog, whatever. Well, I actually like the damage that they added here, right? Like, this is actually pretty clever, because what it does secretly is, like, debuffs are more powerful versus tanks, damage is more powerful versus squishies. So 50 damage is meaningless to a tank, but it's actually meaningful to a DPS or support, so it kind of makes you think about it. But it's still 50% slow. I just don't like this. I think there should be something like it does the 50 damage or whatever, or 25 damage even, but it actually gives Ana a small speed boost for 3 seconds after you use Sync.
Oh, so you can like run away.
Yeah, so it's not as slow on the tank, but it still can be used as like a rotational tool or something like that. So that would still be good enough along with the damage to like contest with Biotic Bounce, but yeah, regardless, that's fine. We could talk about that, but the 14-second cooldown on Nade is just like let's permanently remove that as a balance tool, where when a cooldown gets to like 13, 14 seconds, let's not ever push. Does anyone remember what was it, like the 16 or 18-second Soldier Biotic Field? I was like, whose idea is that? Yeah. Why is that ever a thing? So
yeah,
like,
I like that rant of yours, because you're essentially saying that like people like using their abilities in the game.
Yes.
So like, why are you
Yes.
making people
Shocker.
use their
What a
abilities
hot
less?
take. Yeah, so it's like when you significantly buff a cooldown, you may not even address the initial reason why people don't like playing versus that cooldown, and all you do is you make the person that is playing the character a lot less happy with how the character feels. Like, I actively feel the nade, and I don't enjoy playing on it as much as I did a month ago, mostly because of how infrequently I get the cooldown now.
Yeah, I think it's a good rant there. Another question for Anna. Should double Nono have been nerfed?
More so than it already is. Probably a little bit more. Yeah, probably a tiny bit more.
Dude, it's like 2 ults almost. It's crazy good. Like,
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Because, like, okay, you're getting dove, your tank's diving or whatever, you hit the nano on the Winston or something. It's like, oh, okay, now I've got nano. Now I'm basically free to do whatever the fuck I want. I'm going to bounce the nade up my feet. I'm going to hit them with the groggy. Like, it was very strong. I love the perk, and I think it should stay. I think the crit headshot one, that sucks. I think that needs to...
It's underrated because I think people just aren't used to it yet. Like, I don't know when, if ever, people will ever get used to it, to be fair.
But, like, I think having those two next to each other, you're never picking crit headshot if you can double nano. So I'd rather than remove crit headshot and just, like, change it. Just make another one. But, like, change it to something that would maybe rival the double nano. But it needed to be nerfed because it is so good. You're just immortal with your own nano.
I think they could just tweak it, like an additional second off, and it's probably fine.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
make it like
how
a
you
timing
tweak that
thing,
nano. 100%. Just a timing thing. That's it. And then get rid of the headshot one and making something else. It would at least make it competitive.
Give her the version from Stadium, which is instead of just being able to crit enemies, you can crit allies as well. You can headshot allies.
Oh, crit allies with headshots.
Oh my God.
Holy crap.
Shoot him in the back
Can
of
you
the head.
imagine healing a Ramatra blocking in the
Oh
back
my
of the head? You know?
Head.
doing negative damage, you know?
Wow, peak Overwatch right there. Okay, we have some Baptiste changes actually. With the biotic launcher, healing explosion increased from 50 to 60,
I'm not playing
direct
much
impact
support
heal
this
increased from
season,
20 to
Jesus.
30, maximum ammo reduced from 13 to 10. An assault burst will now do instant healing but cannot critically heal low targets. Support players, any opinions?
I'm not a support player, but I'm always sad about BAP. I think BAP is such a fun hero and one of the best support heroes. I just think his ult it will never compete with what they've made recently. Like,
Dude, when they picked Baptiste and Circuit Real on Champions Clash, we were like, oh my god, Baptiste! Like, that's crazy, dude. Wow.
Do you remember when he was
a
perma
treat.
pick though? Like in Overwatch 1? It was like, holy shit, this guy's so fucking broken. It's like in Overwatch 2, he's just kind of like, meh. Juno exists, you know, like her giant orbital ray that heals and amplifies people's damage as they walk. Like, he's fallen by the wayside, sadly.
This kit
I wanna
is
see him a
not an
little bit
Overwatch 2
more
kit
played.
at all.
yeah, it's not.
Yeah, doesn't feel like
So
it.
until they address that, it's the same. The perk change was really good though, because that perk was terrible, and now because the trade-off was way too harsh. But now it's like
Right.
at least somewhat competitive.
Can't add a character like Kiriko and expect people to want to play BAP at all. There's just no reason to.
Yeah.
Just lamp is horrible. Shift is horrible.
it's
Like
just
regenerate
not.
versus everyone's like angle pilled, and we have some slow projectile healing guy with 2 AoE heal sustain and an AoE ultimate. It just doesn't work.
Say that
His
in
weapon feels
2019. Dude,
Yeah.
you'd be like beheaded. Like, his lab's terrible, bro. His lab's terrible. Like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny how we've evolved in that way.
Yeah. We got, I think,
better.
3 more. I think we got 3 more perks to cover here. First one is Juno. Reduce the cooldown of pulsar torpedoes by 1.5 seconds for every enemy hit. It's a new major perk locked on.
It's quite cool.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All fine.
And then Lucio has an interesting change here. Amp it up is active during Sunbear. It's a fun one.
Yeah. It's fine.
That's really sick. Like having to, you normally like, beat amp beat or whatever, like to get in there. I think that's really nice. Like a little bit more. It makes Lucio when he's ulting like a little bit more fluid.
Yeah.
And so you're not like, okay, I have to have this, otherwise the engage is like good, but it's not that great. Like, yeah, it's nice. It's a nice
Makes it
little
way
like,
easier for beat
boost.
actually, because you can actually speed amp with beat every time you have beat, regardless of the status of your amp.
It's cool, and it's a minor perk too. So yeah, it feels good for Lucio.
And Mercy has overhealth when you complete that resurrection now as one of the perks as well.
So this was an important one, I think, because like the rage bait was like, oh no, are you freaking kidding me? Mercy gets overhealth, but she has to complete the res for it to work.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
it does
if on
open up.
cast.
Yeah. So it opens
so
up
much.
different res opportunities that otherwise might not be there, but it's still kind of a skill play. So like, I don't hate it. I mean, it's Mercy, so I hate
I
it,
think
but
it's
it's also it's
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that there was some thought put into this, which is nice.
I agree.
Yeah. And there you go. I think those were the biggest kind of like takeaways there from the balance changes. So we got through the cert as well. Now we should all feel happy from our sugar rush.
Dude.
The sugar
the
rush,
cherry on
dude.
top is
Yeah.
Juno Ember Skin is getting that recolor thing, right?
Yeah,
Or like
yeah,
a
there you
different
go.
version of
That
it.
skin is
Christmas skin.
sick. Maybe it's just
Yeah, I
a
really
recolor.
like it.
I don't honestly know, but it looks so cool in my opinion.
I love.
The only problem is they released the mythic right after, and it's like,
Yeah.
but the mythic
that does
guy,
feel kind of
but the
bad. You're like,
mythic.
no.
It's a field
I
spot.
like
think it's
I like
sick.
the Ember skin personally, but yeah, I still use it.
That Juno Mythic was a day one buy for me. I completed the whole thing day one. I
Can
finished
we get a
it off, you know.
cosplay? Can we get a cosplay, Avril? Please.
Yeah,
Oh, I like
a
that.
nice little gender band Doki version of me.
That'd be
and
a
Juno.
good sub goal.
Yeah.
You get tons of search subs for that one.
So the best part about this 3D image is they block the eyes with the googly eyes, so you can't complain about the eyes.
nice.
Everyone complains about the eyes. So yeah, there you go. That's how you fix the Ember Juno. You got put googly eyes on, so no one can complain about the eyes. Perfect, guys.
Good. It's a good,
Dylan that says he's subscribed for an Avril sorry.
Cosplay.
Cosplay.
So
Thanks,
you got
let's
this.
go.
You got the
Let's get it.
Stadium
Alright,
Wizard
man.
himself. He says he's down for it.
I would love.
There you go.
Would love to hear what Dylan thinks of all the rambling I did on Stadium about 30 minutes or an hour ago.
That's why he wants
The
you
whole-
to
just
do
the whole-
the
The
cosplay,
whole
bro.
30 minutes of Avril rambling on Stadium.
Avril,
That was
Stadium
solid
consultant.
ranting.
All right. Dinner is all wrapped up, but we of course need the mint. The mint. When you're leaving the restaurant.
What about the after cigar or like the whiskey? You know what I'm saying?
It's not one of those nights, Spilo. But I'll stay in touch if we're having cigar night after the mint as well. I'll have to figure out what the hell that would be. But the mint, of course, is going to be Bren's Player of the Week. Now, if you're not familiar with this, it's essentially devolved from actually the best player of the week to just like what's your favorite post on your For You tab this past week.
Okay.
So if you have any suggestions for anything that happened on your For You tab or on TikTok or whatever, apply. You must be our go-to person for this. You must have. So just to give some context, like a couple of weeks ago, I've asked, shouted out like the French, what it's called, what Joss, you know what it's called?
So
What is blood waffling?
really quick.
Poisson.
Oh,
Steve,
Le Poisson Steve.
La
So
Poisson,
the
Steve,
translation,
yeah.
Steve.
the
Yeah, that's great,
translation,
yeah.
the translation here is Johnny thinks you're the most terminally online to play.
I actually not. I'm the opposite. I try not to go. Okay, but I have one. This
Okay.
is
Go on.
completely has nothing to do with anything we talked about. But Blind Tomato in my chat brought up a question. He said, "Is Super TF the Jackie Robinson of the Overwatch League?" And when
You need a lot of context for this one, bro.
somebody said
You
that
need
in my
a
Twitch
lot of
chat
context.
too.
Wait, they said that in your too?
I think-
they're
I
going
think-
around saying the same joke, dude. That's
This
not
person
fair.
got that one banger joke,
Dude,
and
the
they're like,
one
"Let me go."
banger joke. But I'm not even on like social media that much. I don't know, but that's my pick for the player of the week.
I'm shocked, actually. I thought
You
you
gotta-
were
you
a
gotta-
Lord correspondent.
You gotta
Yeah.
explain
no,
Jackie
no.
Robinson for the people that don't know. People won't get that.
Oh my
No,
god.
I don't even know that
they'll
I
have
get
to
it.
figure that themselves. They'll have to
here we
figure that
go.
out.
Johnny, you gotta have a Bren's Player of the Week, man.
Yeah, we need a Brent's for the week, obviously. So
Do you want an
okay,
unironic
taking a
one?
step back. No, it could be literally whatever. Okay, first thing that comes to mind. The
Anything.
past week, Spilo.
Junbin, freaking Junbin, dude. Freaking
Oh,
Junbin.
John
Let's
Bin.
click
I like
the man.
What's your
Some
reasoning?
respect to this man. He's sweated it out. He's just the goat, man. He's like, I think you
He
could
is the
argue for
goat.
him to being the best player in like the last year. I know Lip is continuing to cement his status as probably the greatest of all time, but in recent memory, like I even heard that he was the guy that was like deadlifting Crazy Raccoon's mental out after the Nightmare loss, you know, after mirroring Kiriko Lucio died losing. Yikes, dude. What the frick is wrong with those guys?
I
Thankfully, they
wanna-
go back to Honor Brig, but like freaking Junbin, man. Like that guy is like, he's had a tough first season or whatever, but then like the last year or two, like it's just the best tank that I think he's the best tank in the league or the
now,
league.
now
Whatever
that you
that
brought
is.
it up,
Easily.
now you brought up, I want to give it to Shoes Brig. For real. Shoes Brig. Yeah, nice. dude.
Wasn't it
Nice
Choose
one.
Juno
Kings
as well?
Row.
Yeah.
Let's go,
You
baby.
could even, if you want to go deeper, you could go Sir Majed for
Lip
getting his
Soldier.
game in on stage. He played the
Ooh,
stadium show.
oh,
man.
yeah, right.
The
Majed's
stadium.
job, guys.
Stadium game.
Majed's job is to do this on stage.
Yeah.
To take a picture for Twitter.
I love
that
a good
man.
Majed sighting, man. Homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down to give it to Jumpin, though. Jumpin's a beast, bro.
Okay, yeah, let's give it to
He's freaky
Jumpin.
with it. He's
Let's give
freaky
it to
with it.
Jumpin. There you
I
go.
love watching
Actual
that guy.
player for Brand's Player of the Week. You'd love to see
That
it.
was rare.
I think
Crazy.
last episode when we actually had a whole dedicated episode of OWCS, we gave it to some random crap, and now for this
That's why it's on
episode,
Steve.
another OWCS, we give it to Jump. It's,
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
yeah.
It is
I
so
honestly
perfect.
can't remember.
I don't remember what we gave it for, but I remember that episode.
Did you guys
Yeah.
already discuss Nightmare and Crazy Raccoon?
We did.
Yeah, we
We
did
did a
that
whole
last week.
episode on
Really
that.
nice.
A whole
last
episode.
week. Last
Hey,
week.
come on,
Okay,
share us
okay.
your thoughts. Give us your thoughts. You can't
My
just
bad,
like.
my bad. No, I was just saying it was like it was cool. So I think shout out to Nightmare, obviously, and like it's really hard to single out any one Nightmare player for that result. But yeah, Good stuff.
Yeah,
No, I'm
I
gonna
think
single out Zero. I will single out Zero.
There is
Zeros, you're just reading the kill feed, man. He had a good game.
I think
like,
Kuffa is the
legitimately.
most impressive, man.
I think
he's
Kuffa, and
gotten
honestly,
so much better.
even Admiral at times. Just
Oh
really,
yeah, he
Yeah,
has so
Admiral.
many individual 1v1 wins. He would
good.
plot 2 kills randomly. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
he's one of the most improved players coming from like Overwatch League, London Spitfire over the next couple of years. It's crazy. It's crazy.
it was. I
Beast.
remember on Route 66 specifically, like Admiral did like a 180 and just dominated Heesang, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's,
I mean, they just won the dive mirror. Like they just
Yeah.
straight up won the dive mirror. Like New Queen Street shenanigans, Kings Row shenanigans aside, then they take him to Route 66 and they hit him.
Oh,
in
you
the
didn't
mouth.
like Lip Soldier? That's crazy.
Dude, okay, actually, I had to sit there literally when I opened that on stream. I had no context. I didn't know what was happening, so I'm reviewing it, and I sat there for like 5 or 6 minutes advocating for the soldier swap, given the hero bands
the
and the
same
map
thing, the
and the
map
thing.
too.
And then they swap, and he stays a soldier. I'm like, yeah, he should probably. Okay, they're gonna play for the nano. Okay, wait, the nano visor just shut down. Okay, so now he's gonna. Oh wait, no. Okay, so he's gonna. Okay, okay, so now he's gonna. Okay, no. Okay, and I did that for like 3 or 4 fights in a row. Like, all right, you know what? Screw it. This guy sucks. I'm taking his GOAT title away. This guy's a moron. They're trolling. I give up. You guys were right. So, oh yeah.
Yeah, I think to summarize last week's kind of conversation, we just said that like, okay, Crazy Raccoon, they didn't play their best game, but it doesn't matter. Give Nightmare the credit. It's an amazing achievement.
Yeah.
So happy for those guys. Top 3. That was a great win for them. So we were all very happy for Nightmare and gave their players a ton of credit for that. Even though you could review Crazy Raccoon in that match and be like, okay, well, what happened, guys?
On some maps, Nightmare
They
really
still
just
won the
played really
tournament,
well.
bro. It's all good.
Yeah. Some maps for sure.
yeah.
Some maps for sure. Well, Spilo, you'll have a video out, right? Reviewing that. So go to Spilo's YouTube channel. Check that out. Check out the review. I'm guessing there is one.
Yeah, well,
All right, well-
finals, but yeah.
Finals. Oh, okay. Sorry.
That
Yeah.
one too, but not just yet. You know, you got to space it out. I'm YouTube maxing.
Yeah, YouTube Max. Yeah, YouTube Max. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for this little dinner situation. Okay, I'm over it. I'm over
In
it.
the
yeah.
mint.
Yeah. Now we can all
I'm
go
full,
home and we can
dude.
put on our sweatpants and relax and just play. I don't know, sit in the practice range for a while.
Yeah, I'm gaming. Get
We're
it.
gaming. Let's go.
He's gaming.
Thank you so much, everybody. Shout out to Solomon, our producer, as always. Now zooming into my face very
Thanks,
violently.
Solomon.
I
That's good.
appreciate
Solomon,
Solomon.
everybody.
You're the actual goat. I couldn't do this without you.
Fire this man.
Thank you so much for tuning into Plat Chat Overwatch, episode 264. Stay tuned next week, and we'll talk about something. I don't know what yet. Goodbye.